Music. It's literally saying you're live as the music crescendos. Hello, everyone! That is so fucking perfect. Anyway, well, I just demonetized this stream.
Well,
Anyway.
I mean, chances are it was going to be demonetized anyway, given what we're going to be pitching.
Might as well get it out of the way.
Yeah. Hello, folks. I usually, well, okay, let me start off with this appropriate thing. I'm not appropriate ever, but so I'm streaming today, and I'm joined by my usual co-host Griffin.
Black Lives Matter.
Absolutely. I'm also joined by a semi-regular co-host in Alex.
Hi, friends. They matter, y'all. I hate myself. I'm gonna disconnect. Bye.
I think that was the single whitest thing you've ever said.
They matter, y'all.
Okay, I'm really white. I drink milk when I eat korma. Okay.
Listen, I'm in no position to judge.
Anyway, guys, just to introduce the last member of this call, I'm also joined by Gab, aka Serena Midori, who has been pretty consistently joining us for Skyrim playthroughs.
I will be here for only Skyrim playthroughs. Also, yes, Black Lives Matter. And happy Pride.
See,
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I understand that all lives matter. The whole point of Black Lives Matter is not that they're the only ones that matter, it's that we have not been treating them like they matter. That's why they are saying Black Lives Matter, is because we, the general populace of the United States, and quite probably globally, have not been respecting the fact that their lives matter. It's to remind us that they matter because they haven't been experiencing that their lives matter.
There's a TikTok I saw earlier today, just this morning. This girl was playing it out. She's saying like, "Oh, we're gonna go over to help this house is on fire," and then the person responding is like, "Well, what about my house?" You're like, "Well, what about your house? Like, doesn't my house matter too?" And it's like, "Is your house on fire?" No, but my house also matters. It's like, okay, I see the metaphor here.
Yeah, that's a pretty good. So, yeah, obviously we are being very forward on our opinion given the events of this last week.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, I have the game here and I do plan to get on that, but as we all know, I like to start off my streams with controversial opinions, which it should not be controversial.
I mean, look here. All of us in this call were basically born with a soapbox, so you don't have to explain yourself.
Yeah.
Remember, if you disagree, you're welcome to disconnect from this stream, but not before donating to make sure that we know you disagree.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, please make sure to send donations.
Because that way I'll get the message. Absolutely. If you donate with a message saying I disagree with you, thank you. That way I'll be sure to see your message and truly care that you have left.
You'll definitely hurt some feelings. You'll definitely have made your point.
Hey,
You'll feel great.
So I'm gonna
You'll really
actually
make those liberals hurt.
I'm actually gonna take a second. So John Morrison, hello. I understand that you're making a joke. I will say, however, that blue skin does not exist in the world. And saying something like, I don't see skin color, you could be purple, green, blue, or whatever. You could be black, brown, purple, blue. That kind of statement ends up minimizing that there is a real-world discrimination towards people who are vulnerable to being marginalized, people who are, I mean, historically, especially in the United States, black people, we are also experiencing all, people of color are also currently at huge, tremendous risk right now within
Looks
the
at the
United
real life
States.
concentration camps.
Where they're starting. Never mind. It's terrifying to get into the full depths of all of it, and I could be literally sitting here shaking in terror and grief for all of the stuff that's been going on, which is why I'm opening up with this today. It is the privilege of the white to say, I don't see color. Because to not see color is, well, because you are not experiencing any discrimination for it. And before those of you who either want to hop into the comments, today live, or you watch this video, I don't know why you'd be watching my channel if you ever held this viewpoint, but whatever. if you're going to start arguing with me about how white people are being discriminated against because of backlash to all of the discrimination that any kind of minority race within this country has experienced, then you can go ahead, turn around, put your ass out the door. There is not discrimination
Alternatively,
against...
if you do choose to comment, you're just helping the algorithm.
That too. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that you are wrong for wanting to move past racism, but we are literally right now seeing the effects of racism, systemic racism, as it has plagued this country. It is so deeply rooted that we can watch videos of people being brutalized and say, well, but they shouldn't be out. Not even that they shouldn't be protesting, but they shouldn't have been out past curfew. That is what people have legitimately been saying. They are so willing to defend it.
To get them in trouble in the first place.
Yeah. So I want to move past racism. I would love for the joke of, I don't care if you're, black, brown, white, blue, purple, etc., etc. I would love for that to be a joke that has literally no impact. But as it stands right now, we are facing tremendous racial inequality in this country. So, I will say that in the description for this video, I have no idea if y'all can see it while it's live, there is actually a link to a game bundle on itch.io or itch.io that you can get 700 plus games for just $5, and the donation will, or the payment for that will all be donated to, let me see the actual list here, make sure I get it right, the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund and Community Bail Fund. Is going to be split evenly between the two, so it's going equally to make sure that people who are arrested pretty much unlawfully at this point, or, well, lawfully, but not by the Constitution anyway.
Yeah.
So unlawfully.
I mean, the Constitution's an illegal document anyway, but moving on.
Well, there's...
But we don't have time to unpack all of that.
Yeah, we don't. So, y'all... If you guys want to get 700 games, and that's just it, even if all you want to do is get 700 games for $5, 700 motherfucking games for $5, and there's some good ones in there. There's apparently Night in the Woods, I think One Shot's in there, all sorts of opportunities to be able to get a huge amount of games. Even just on that basis alone, it is worth dropping the $5. But knowing where the money is going, that it's going to support those who are who are going to be fighting for the freedoms and racial equality that we have so sorely needed in this country. Also, welcome, Rubina. Welcome to the middle of me climbing on my soapbox and hammering more height onto it.
Well, that's nothing.
True, but today is a little bit different.
That's
in
fair.
fact,
Reason for it.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
one of those... I frequently have reasons where, unfortunately, during the weekend, my health is not necessarily 100%. I will say, this last weekend, one of the things that impacted my willingness to stream was legitimately the events that were unfolding as of last week. I mean, physical health was not 100%, but I will say that the psychological health was affected tremendously. I was grieving, and I know how to process it, but I couldn't quite, climb onto stream and try to play something. And I could have probably just sat there and platformed the entire time talking about how much I grieve, for the vulnerable populations within this country. So, I am a very serious person when it comes to these things. I do take it seriously. Again, there is a link in the description. And also, Griffin, you mentioned before we got started today.
We got started.
Oh my god.
Before we get started, yes, I would also like to do a bit of a plug of my own. If any of you out there are curious as to how you can help support protesters or victims of police brutality in your part of the world, whether you're in the United States or elsewhere, I would heavily encourage you to go to blacklivesmatter.card. That's with 2 R's, .co. That's Black Lives Matter, all one word, .carrd.co. And it'll take you to a bunch of info pages about different organizations that you can donate to. different programs you can read up on to get a little more info on frequently asked questions and what's going on. I've personally used it this past month. I donated to the PDX Protest Bail Fund for Portland, Oregon, because we're not immune to it here. As much as Portland is being known for being progressive, the police here are still doing their thing, and so people here need help, whether they're directly protesting or they're direct victims of what's happening. That they need your help, and the people where you live also need your help. So I heavily encourage you all to, if you have any money to spend there after you've bought the bundle for about $5, I heavily encourage you to, if nothing else, look into it, read up on some of the things that are going on, educate yourselves, because
I was gonna say,
I feel,
I was gonna say, among the other things, it actually also does, I think, if I recall correctly, it also discusses a lot of the things that have led into this, a lot of the systemic issues and where people are coming from when they say, hey, we need to stop this.
Yes, absolutely. It's not just for donations. It's just so you can familiarize yourself with what's going on.
Yeah. And understand the Black Lives Matter. And hello, welcome to people as you are trickling in. Obviously, we are starting off with a super serious subject today. And I know that you guys know that me and Griffin are here. As I also introduced, I am joined by Alex and Gab.
As per usual, Gab and I have been demoted to chat.
Yay!
Yeah.
I'm here in chat.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are there in chat. I'm just saying, you're also in call with me. We've just been, Griffin and I never shut up, so it's very predominant for us to be in the call the way that we are. But
I, for one, could not be happier.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
But I'm probably going to be making a lot of reference to that as we go forward today. I am planning on actually streaming, like, playing game content and stuff like that, and sucking at this game continuously and forever. Are you sure that donating is enough? See, whether or not donating is enough, it doesn't have to be the individual need to save everyone. No one person is going to be able to handle the full brunt of what needs to happen. Donating may not be the most that people can do, but for some people it is. And donating helps tremendously. If you donate to some of these funds, not only does it go towards getting people who have been unlawfully detained and thrown into jail for protesting, and for making sure that there is a legal defense fund for people who need to get out of a broken system.
Yeah.
Every dollar that you spend in that direction, because again, if you have 100 people all donating just $1, that's $100 right there. If you get 1,000 people donating $10, that is $10,000 right fucking there.
It's not about doing enough, it's about doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of us do feel paralyzed by the severity and the intensity of what's happening. A lot of folks feel like, I can't do it. I can't throw $50 at this. And it's like, don't throw $5 and get 700 games for it. Or throw $1 if you can, even if it is just $1. There are several people who are currently streaming for raising funds for donations to a lot of these charities. So again, even if you individually can only throw $1 in that direction, if you watch a streamer and you give them your money to donate to these causes, it all adds up and it does make a difference. You can also use whatever platforms that you have, much as I am doing right now, to speak on these issues, to let people know about what's going on, share things like all of these resources from Black people themselves talking about what has been happening systemically for hundreds of years, and how to go about addressing our own behaviors and addressing how we treat other members within our community. Because that's the other thing, in terms of what's enough, like if you've been passively feeling like you can't do anything about it, like if you haven't stepped up to make any kind of changes in your behavior, if you are a white person who has benefited from systemic racism, and if you're in the US, you have, just by default. And I say that to say, if you've never been afraid for your life over a potential driving infraction, then you have benefited from racism. And that's a terrible thing, and it is a cognitive disconnect. But if your daily life is not spent afraid that you could be randomly hauled out into the street and shot, then you have benefited from systemic racism, because that is what Black people, especially in this country, have been facing for a long time. So, $35, that is huge. Are you sure that, if every person in America donated 1 penny, they would raise $330,000? Yep. $3 million. Yeah, we've got 330. Yeah. But that's just it. It doesn't have to be a lot, but every little bit from every last one of us. It's just like, if it were a protest of just 5 people standing out of the police building, they wouldn't even care. They wouldn't even send out anyone with any kind of gear. They just come out and tell them to disperse. But when you start getting hundreds of people, thousands of people protesting, you can enact tremendous change. It's not about whether or not the individual can enact complete change, can individually reform the system. It's about joining the movement to make things change, to stand together, to be united in this cause, to change our individual attitudes towards these issues, and standing together so that we can change the systemic attitude and the laws as they are on the books. Mm-hmm. If Jeff Bezos donated 12% of his riches, he could probably end the whole... He could... 12%, I think that's even...
a bit much.
That's a lot. I mean, he could not only end the whole thing, he could also end world hunger. And
the thing is, a lot of people with that much money could end the whole thing, in air quotes, by, like, putting in some real change with that money. But then that means they don't have that power or money anymore. The people who are in positions of power are not likely the ones who are going to make those changes unless, like, they're willing to give up on that. And they need to be, but a lot of people aren't.
And what's even hilarious is that, like, you invoke Jeff Bezos. He's the one that keeps getting brought up because he is, so impossibly wealthy that 12% of what he has could literally solve all of the problems in the world. Like, that is the obscene amount of money that he has. And you cannot fathom spending $1 billion in your lifetime. Never mind the however many billions he has right now. He could donate 12% of his billions and it could change the face of history. But of course he's not going to do that because for him it's about the high score. It's about having the power. The system as it exists allowed him to become so infamously and notoriously wealthy. Why would he change that steady flow of income into his pocket?
Especially for those people who don't see it as an issue.
Yeah. I can put in 10 pounds tomorrow. Yeah, you don't have to do it today. This is going to be an ongoing thing. It can be however long you are willing to show your support in it. Doesn't have to be today. Doesn't have to be tomorrow. I would prefer that the sooner that you're able to take some kind of action, even if it's just, again, using a platform to speak about these issues. Using that opportunity to do that will absolutely make a difference. Every single person who tells 5 friends, hey, here's some of the issues that have been going on, we should probably look into this. That spreads out very, very quickly. You are doing your part just by saying Black Lives Matter. Because the more people who come out saying Black Lives Matter, all of these folks who are saying all lives matter or blue lives matter and all of this in response, they're going to see that they're outnumbered. They're going to see that for every person who says all lives matter, there are 10 people, there are 100 people, there are 1,000 people, maybe even 100,000 people per person saying all lives matter, saying Black Lives Matter. And as long as we commit to that, we will absolutely make change. And it's as simple as saying that. It's as simple as letting people know where you stand on things. And I'm speaking impassionedly here because I admittedly cannot physically go to a protest. And I'm frustrated by that. endlessly frustrated, not just because of fear of what might happen to me, although that is admittedly a factor, but I know I cannot endure, I would not survive if I were even just in a case with tear gas being released because I have asthma. It would be the complications from that alone would most likely end my life. And that's, I don't want to die. And I don't know that would...
You shouldn't have to, like, it sucks because we shouldn't have to be risking our lives in the first place just to protest. The only reason why that's even a thing now is because police are treating it like riots. There are so many cases now of these protests going on peacefully as soon as the police are not there.
Oh yeah, well, I saw footage from a helicopter of a group of protesters doing line dancing in a group. There's this huge, massive group of people literally just doing line dances. They weren't doing anything, they were just there showing their physical presence in support of these protests. And they were dancing because the police forgot to show up, or they couldn't show up. And I will say this, the change that has been happening over this last week alone. I will say this. Originally, and for the last decade that I have even been aware of this, and for hundreds of years preceding all of this, a police officer who actually breaks the law and murders what they call to be a suspect, but murders a United States citizen, would, if they get caught doing that, they would get moved to another department, they'd be moved around to a different precinct, they would be retired with pay and then possibly get rehired someplace else. They'd be shuffled around until people didn't know or care about what was going on with them anymore. This last week, we not only saw the man who was responsible, the murderer of George Floyd, actually arrested and charged for what he did. He actually had his initial charge of third-degree manslaughter jumped up to second degree, which is exactly what it was. We have seen the 3 accompanying officers also arrested and charged for aiding that, being accessories to that. We have seen Minneapolis actually discussing defunding the police after all of this, because it turns out that if you have community support, if you have mental health professionals for folks who are having mental health breakdowns, if you have community support for people who are otherwise unable to support themselves, that turns out to be a better option than sending someone with a gun to someone's door to try and settle things. It's a really grim situation. I'm not American, but I wish that things will get better. I do too. I want you safe and happy. Same with Griffin Alex and Pinkie Pie DM.
Oh my god. Excuse the fuck out of me?
I mean, to be fair...
I mean, she was with the My Little Pony fandom.
When I heard Pinkie... So I heard everyone's names and I'm like, okay, they're either gonna say Serena or Gavin. I heard Pinkie Pie and I went whiplash right back to My Little Pony. I was like, I haven't heard that name in a long time.
This is not the worst thing you've been accused of being affiliated with.
Oh, God.
That's absolutely true.
But...
That totally threw me off. I apologize.
No, that's...
I take the
Phoenix
compliment.
says it's a compliment.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I take the compliment. It just threw me off.
Yeah. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. There have also been other unlawful cases that have actually been opened and started to see getting addressed. We have been seeing not only all 50 United States agreeing on something, and I can tell you for the last, 240 fucking years that this country has been in existence? However long it has been. Since the founding, we have never had 100% of the United States agreeing on something.
Yeah.
This is the first time in history that we have all agreed that what happened was egregious. And on top of that, we have solidarity with several countries around the world who are also holding their own protests. We are seeing people who otherwise know. For example, we've got John Boyega, who knows that his career might be damaged by speaking out as passionately as he has. And he spoke up on this, and he made it clear that It is our responsibility to speak up on this. He was willing to risk his livelihood, his career, his future, because that's how important this is. And of course, we've had several people coming out the woodwork to promise, no, I will pay you for work. You know, you will have a career after this. Don't worry about that. But every single instance of this happening has had an impact. We are seeing a lot of legal cases being brought back up because they were never appropriately addressed in the first place. I'm glad if I can be an inspiration, but that's just it. If I can sit here and use my platform and tell you guys, hey, it's okay. It's scary. It is. It's overwhelming. I have spent a lot of time this last week feeling, you know, fear for myself, fear for people that I love and care for, and grief. A tremendous amount of grief, not just for George Floyd, not just for the individuals who have been attacked, who have been suffering, who have been murdered, but grief because I can't even comprehend how many people have suffered and died under this system. My brain is literally not equipped for it. No one's brain is equipped to handle millions of people dying in that exact same way. George Floyd times 1 million, times several 100 million throughout history. You know, we can't comprehend that. My grief is so strong that I've been enraged, especially for this last decade, especially after seeing the way that a lot of these things played out and seeing with the new technology that we have to document all of this. My grief has been so strong and it has fueled anger, and my anger in turn makes me determined that we stay with this and that we stay determined to change the course of history here and now, even just on the individual basis that we give $1 to the people who have the legal authority to make things change. So, I'm getting real serious here. I know I am, and I got Skyrim loaded up and everything. I'm having this backdrop to this conversation. But I care very passionately about this. And I want to see change. We need to enact change. This is absolutely the time to press on this, because we're also seeing the police force is being stretched thin right now. They have the weaponry, they have the military support, but they don't have the numbers. They're getting stressed to the point of quitting. Up to, I think, about 6 police officers a day are resigning, straight up resigning, because they can't handle the pressure of this anymore. They are now on 12-hour days in a heightened situation where adrenaline is going to be fucking pumping the entire day, and they don't get any days off, because that's what's required of them to try and supposedly quell the protests. They're under tremendous stress. We are straining their system, and just by virtue of us showing up by the thousands, demanding justice, we are seeing the effects of this. I feel and I have tremendous hope that we can change this. It's overwhelming. It is. It is paralyzingly overwhelming. But I absolutely 100% believe that we can change this. So, like I said at the start of this, you can check out the link in the description on this video if you want to get yourself 700 games for only $5. All proceeds are going to be donated to the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund and the Community Bail Fund. You can also check out, what was it again, Griffin? You got the specific...
Yes, blacklivesmatter.card.co. I can actually get you the link so you can put that in the description if you want.
Absolute. Not in the description, but probably in the chat.
Yeah, sure. I'll put that in there. In the YouTube chat or our thing?
In the YouTube chat.
Okay.
But just to clarify that is Black Lives Matter, all one word. And you said it's dot...
Yeah, .card, CARRD.co.
CO. So, that is a plug for all of that. I appreciate you guys sitting through 30 minutes of me being here determined and angry and frustrated and overwhelmed, and also with surging pride to see people coming together on this. I am going to get to the game. Thank you for posting that link there, Griffin.
Of course.
I'm going to get to the game for those of you, for those of you who came to the stream to have a good time and listen to me laugh and suck at this game, now's the time when I'm going to finally get into that. And I do apologize if this was a lot of talking about serious matters. I know that a lot of us come to these streams to get away from some of these things, and that is also understandable. But this is a situation that does need to be changed. And I'm going to always emphasize, and I'm going to use my platform to make that happen. Hi, Isaac. Welcome to the stream. You have good timing. Yeah. I'm literally just about to actually start playing the game.
Uh-huh.
Almost 30 minutes to the dot since we started streaming.
Oh, yeah. On my end, it's 30 minutes in, exactly, actually.
Perfect.
So, half an hour dedicated to Black Lives Matter. Because Black Lives Matter, and I'm going to keep saying that until it sinks in that it's not just Black Lives that matter, but Black Lives Matter also. And Skyrim is naturally not responding. Sweet.
Oh, it's Bethesda.
Yeah, it's Bethesda. It's Skyrim.
What are you gonna do?
This buggy fucking mess of a game.
Yeah, let's take an additional 30 minutes to stare in the majesty of this medieval glory hole.
That reminds me, if you ever do want me to help clean up your game, Laura, just so it runs a little better, I will absolutely help with that. Because game out of the box does not run well.
I can...
You'd think they would optimize it, but nah.
That would require
I didn't!
effort on their part. Come
Wait,
on.
do you have no eyes? What happened to your eyes?
What happened to your eyes, dude?
I'm
He
sorry.
has no eyes and he must see.
Were you so scared by my drawing my weapon? Wait. Oh, hi, Lydia.
I think he fell asleep. You know what it is? I think he fell asleep from the half hour we spent talking before we started playing.
Well, but he was nervous apparently because I was a woman who drew a weapon in front of him, and I didn't approach with a weapon drawn. I just accidentally pulled it out. What's your problem, man?
Oh, my word.
Whee! Okay, so I'm not going to go in the direction with the dragon that we encountered before.
Might be a good shout, just avoiding that.
Western.
Yeah.
I was trying to get to Redoran's retreat, but apparently between there and here, there was a dragon.
There be Dargans.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't want to do that.
I mean, in some cases it may be unavoidable, depending on what the
Dragons have
mission
fire.
statements
If you have them.
require of you, but...
Yeah. Sometimes there will be scripted dragons, but most of the time you should be able to avoid them.
Okay. Alright. So, I'm gonna actually check what missions I
Why the
have.
concept of scripted dragons is so funny to me.
Uh,
Like
Sten,
dragons who went to school and got their art degree.
Okay, that's your cue.
what kind of character am I hoping to play? I am currently joining the Companions, and yeah, that quest line as to where it goes is kind of going to be the intent. Way of the Voice, okay, that had my time of need. A group of men call themselves, oh, I should probably put that on the mark. Find the Red Guard woman. I don't know where that is.
You probably overheard a conversation about a Red Guard woman.
No, I deliberately talked to someone. I remember
okay.
that much. I just don't remember where that was.
Probably, there are two warriors who hang out in Whiterun.
Yeah. So you think it's within Whiterun that this is going on? I mean, I can check around. I could have sworn that it was outside of Whiterun that shit was going on. By the way, sorry for getting... it's been like a month since I last played this. So not only do I have to get reacquainted with the controls, but also I have to remember what the fuck I was doing. I remember the dragon. You kind of
Skyrim
don't
is one of
forget.
those games where you have to deal with like 4 different plots going on at once.
Fan art
Yeah.
about Artist Dragon. I'm sure someone's already on it.
Speaking of wildlife, who the fuck carved those patterns into the mammoth's tusks?
That happens naturally.
Big giant, probably.
General goods come by Bellathor's ship. Don't mean to be need some.
I'm pretty sure there may be 1 or 2 instances of this in Skyrim, but one of my favorite things, well, not favorite because it's sad, but one of the things that I enjoy is that sometimes you'll see a mammoth that's dead on the ground and a giant will be standing there, just standing there mourning it, and it won't attack you because it's mourning its dead mammoth.
Huh.
So you could walk by it
Aw.
and just be there and be like, hey buddy, I'm sorry for your loss, and they won't attack you.
That's rough,
My
buddy.
heart.
I know.
No. No. Listen. That's not allowed.
Okay, so I'm just remembering all of the stuff. I am doing okay in terms of my weight load.
You get to the Cloud District very often. Oh, what am I saying? Of course you don't.
I'm sorry, you want to
That's
fucking
right.
go? You want to go? I'm sorry, you got
You
an
wanna
opinion
you wanna
about
join
me?
the soapbox?
Are you threatening your cat? Because I hear. I'm sorry. Do you want to
Oh,
go?
you're approaching me.
Listen, there are t-
I can't
there are
keep tracks without getting any closer.
there are 2 types of people in this world. There are people who have threatened their cats, and people who have never owned a cat.
Yeah.
You know what? Fair.
Did you just walk back? What are you? Why did you do that?
Why is this dude playing Ring Around the Rosie?
Nazim, are you okay?
Is anyone in this game?
No.
He's just having a rough time. Give him a sec.
All right, sir. You've pissed me off, so I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this thing. You're not going to like it.
Oh no, it's gonna be this.
My cabbages!
Oh, I can't kill. Oh, wait, now he's dead. All right. I have satisfied my frustration.
Honestly, if there was anybody you were gonna kill in Whiterun, I'm glad it's Nazim. Have you ever been to
I
the
like how
Cloud?
these 2 unrelated people just started fighting each other.
Oh, yes. Amber.
Hello, Jane.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
All right, I have no idea. What? Hello, child.
I mean, Jane is, in fact.
Oh, well, hey. Belated, but thank you for speaking up on BLM earlier. Got to hear the tail end of that. Hi, yes, hello.
Yeah, we spent a good half hour talking about that.
Yeah.
I've never heard of killing someone just because you didn't interact for once.
Oh, my word.
I've never heard, because you don't interact with... Okay, I don't generally do that, and I'm going to make that clear. That is not my modus operandi. I'm only doing that in a game where I can save beforehand and vent my frustration and then reload it. Because I know that in a game, that's not going to impact a real person. I say that to say, of course, we need to be mindful of the sort of messages that we are putting out there when it comes to our choices in these games. However, that said, I have no problem teaching, yes, a condescending little jerk a lesson about tangling with this motherfucker. I can kill him in seconds.
It's a very important lesson about fire safety.
You'll have a lot of fun in this game because you get to just kill the racists, and it's cathartic.
Well, unfortunately,
She's
I'm...
exclusively killed a black man so far.
Well, I meant like the racist in the Skyrim realm, because there is a lot of racism on the Nord's part.
Yeah.
In fairness, last episode or maybe the episode before, I'm pretty sure you just killed a racist and then everyone you shouted at a racist and then everyone ganged up on him, which
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's a dragon again! What the fuck? I wasn't even going in that direction! Why is there a dragon?
Was this dragons in Skyrim? Who'd have thunk it?
Go away! I don't want to fight a dragon!
maybe,
Leave me
maybe
alone!
it hasn't
cares?
seen you.
No, it's coming.
Maybe.
No, I don't want to fight you. Go away.
If we all close our eyes really tight. Maybe it will go away.
If we can't see it, it can't see
It can't
us.
see us.
Yeah,
Ow.
you're gonna want to yeet yourself out of there.
I'm going as fast as I can. Leave me alone. Yes.
I'm also playing Skyrim while you play Skyrim again, and I've had to do this boss battle 3 times!
Joy.
Okay. It went in a different direction finally.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am explicitly going away from the direction of where that dragon was. Wait.
The number of dragons in this game is insane. You'd think it was
That's
about
kind
dragons.
of the point, actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You'd think it would be like about dragons or something.
Yeah, it's somewhat of a motif.
All right. Let's see. Why am I slower? Or is the game just lagging? Okay.
Well, I mean, you do keep having people give you mounds of items.
Hello.
I have nothing to say to you. Now move along, or I'll order my guards to attack.
I have nothing to say to you. Guards, yeah, the one guard. And there she goes with the safe scumming again.
Look, I
Oops.
don't judge.
I'm sorry, Lydia. Wait. Oh, we're getting shot by the guards now. Okay. Okay. There are dragons, but where are the dungeons? No, that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which I am looking forward to a lot.
Yes.
I am too.
Well, you've been excited for this for, months, but... Yeah. We've all been excited for various aspects of it, too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, you were saying?
Oh,
Gab. That's right, I can't point to someone.
yeah.
What am I... Oh, wait! I'm hearing something. Was that... Because I'm hearing there's that sound... There it is. The Nirnroot.
Yes, love me some Nirnroot.
I have no idea what that is, but every time I pass by it, it has made a sound. So I'm like, I should
Yeah.
probably collect that. What does it do?
So I'll tell you a couple of little fun facts for you. Well, first of all, the Nirnroot makes that sound because that's just one of its properties. It's a very rare plant in Skyrim. It's very hard because you can't really grow them yourself. You can only find them randomly in the world. They're very powerful for potions. Like, each alchemy thing that you can find, every ingredient has 4 different things that it can do.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to discover those. By eating them, you get the first one, and then you can just test your own potions to get the other ones. Nerve roots, if you happen to get other ingredients that create invisibility, you can make invisibility potions. So if you kill a vampire, get some vampire dust, get a nerd root, you can make a potion of invisibility.
Huh.
That's pretty spicy.
That's one free recipe for you.
Okay.
I mean, I will say, traditionally speaking, in fantasy scenarios, if there's a plant that makes any sort of sound, it's best to stay the fuck away from it. Because it's either one of those things that's shaped like a baby and screams so loud you die, or it's something from outer space that wants to eat people.
Nah,
Okay.
It's no mandrake. It's no mandrake. It's actually really good.
I'm just amazed.
There's a quest
from
line
outer
later on
space.
where you can find a different type of nerve root. Sorry.
Interesting.
Alright, you take care of Gold Ingot.
All right. Salt. Yes. My lifeblood.
Here we go with the salt again.
Look.
It
Look.
begins.
What do you mean it begins? It started with this fucking stream.
Actually true, we haven't had one butterfly chase. Yeah, that's what we're missing.
Well, okay, but you didn't see me actually capture 2 butterflies.
I was gonna
just
say,
did-
like, she's picked up some, she just hasn't been screaming after them.
Yeah.
You know what? That's very fair. I'll take that F there. I'll take the L.
Yes.
Is that a dog? Oh, that's a dog attacking me.
Hubby Mall?
Puppy.
I'm all done
What?
with this.
Oh,
dead
hello.
thing Finally.
You did hear something, so I'm gonna kill you now. Hey, buddy. Hey. Oh, look at that. You're dead. Funny story, right?
Be
How that
dead.
works.
Be dead instead.
Be dead. Be dead instead. Let's see. I
What?
don't need.
For reference, Alex, it was during one of the Stardew Valley streams when Laura was in the mines and she was fighting a bunch of bugs. Like, no, and one of them metamorphosed into the flying type. No, don't do that. Be dead. Be dead instead.
Amazing.
Oh, I remember that. I saw that stream.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a while ago.
Yeah. It's back in 2018, I believe.
I have the, as the kids say, no brain cells.
Mood.
Head empty.
Yeah.
Head empty. Only
No
love
thoughts.
for my friends.
Oh, well, how does this... Okay. On the first fucking try.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Master thief.
You're a pro gamer.
I am. Well, unless I go up against the dragon, in which I just cry.
Hey, dragons have like those cool gaming chairs and like a keyboard that you can tell it's for gamers because it has black and it has like red keys.
I exclusively
dragon-
drink Baja Blast.
Yeah.
Your dragon do this.
I'm afraid to ask what you're insinuating they're doing, Gab.
Oh, I'm making a reference to that fucking gaming chair.
Oh.
Just like dragon leans back. Why am
Okay.
Why am I being assassinated? Hello?
War crimes?
I didn't do any this time. I'm playing the good character.
Oh,
It's
so
very
not,
telling when you say this time.
so
yeah, I was
not
just
the
gonna comment on
vampire,
that.
not the vampire lady.
No, I am playing a different lady. I'm playing my bard. She is completely good. In fact, kind of useless in battle. And her only goal is to go to every tavern in Skyrim.
Can you go in front of me? E.
Are you tired
Personal
of being
space.
nice? Don't you just want to go ape shit? No.
No. Thank you.
No worries.
I enjoyed that picture a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna
It's
probably
cute.
Josie again later, but right now I'm enjoying Celia because this is the one that I get to be good and actually experience a lot of the mods that I've downloaded.
Yeah.
Hell
Including
yeah.
the necessary to eat and drink water mod.
Ooh.
And just being a bard. I got a mod that lets me be a bard, so I can actually just play instruments instead of, anything else in this game.
That's pretty cash money of you, honestly.
Thanks,
Like,
I
instead of pulling out your sword, you play Master Exploder, and that kills the dragon.
I mean...
I found this thing the other day, and I think someone showed it to me a while back, but I rediscovered it. It was like, it was a mashup of the main battle theme from Evangelion, mashed up with Master Exploder from Tenacious D, Pick of Destiny.
Mhm.
It works too well.
Okay, I need to hear that.
I will send a link to it of it to you.
Thank you.
Because
I will
it,
send a link of it to you.
yes, I know how to speak like a human person.
Human.
Yes.
I own skin that was grown on a human, and it is mine.
This is human skin.
I am human, Dr.
Yeah.
Freeman.
Hello
Jesus.
there, hello humans. Do you want
Don't
to
like
go
that.
to
No, don't like that.
I love how I just got distracted by combat and... do I need a leg of goat? I suppose I can always cook it.
I mean,
But do I really need a leg of goat? I gotta ask myself that.
I
I
mean,
mean,
Do I
it
have,
is...
when you're in a pinch.
do
What
you
are you
have a
doing to me?
second for me of your time for me to talk to you about our Lord and Savior, leg of goat?
Can you spare a cup of goat?
Throw a leg of goat to your witcher.
My brain's trying to understand that sentence, and it's in vain because I already know it's nonsense. My wisdom. Head full. No more
Many
thoughts,
thoughts.
head full. Many thoughts, head full.
Alright. Just trying to make sure that I'm...
Fun.
Can I offer you a nice lick of goat in these
Goat.
trying times? Thank you, Ian.
Which cave are you in right now, Laura?
What do you mean, which game?
I'm shifting
Okay.
into goat mode.
Oh, cave. Where is this? That's not... What am I...
Sets things on fire.
When all else
Redoran's...
fails.
Redoran's Retreat.
Ah, okay.
I haven't
I don't remember
gotten...
what you do there.
I have no idea what I do. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, wait, that's a cooking... Wait,
We're both
I can...
equally as lost.
I can use the cooking spit to cook the leg of a lamb!
You literally almost went, ooh, I like chicken strips.
I do want to create that item, thank you. Now, can I take the food that is... I can't take the food that's on there. That's fine. I can't actually take the food that's on there, but,
What?
yes?
Are you good?
Treasure.
Okay.
Everything okay?
Sorry, this is the first time I've made it to
My
this specific
cabbages.
area with a high enough speech. So essentially, at one point, there's these bandits who are like, hey, this is a toll road. If you want to get past this, you gotta pay us like 200 gold. Now, the usual response is, no, I'm gonna fight you, and then you have to fight everybody. But if you intimidate her so good, you just say, how about I just kill you instead? She's like, actually, no, on second thought, you just go on ahead. It's fine.
I was gonna say, when has there's a toll to get past this route thing ever worked in any fantasy story?
Well, this time I don't have to kill these people, which is good in my book this time.
See, I will
Yeah.
say, the reason why they keep doing it to the players is because it works on the people who are not armed, and they assume for whatever reason that you're not going to attack them. Also, apparently, I'm not the only one getting on a soapbox today. Hey, Lydia, what do you want to say?
Lydia said Black Lives Matter.
Yep, Lydia said Black Lives Matter. Also, thank you, Ragnar. You're going to see me do that momentarily.
Yes.
Yes, okay, so...
Man, that was fun.
Grab that. Grab that. Let's see. That. And is there anything...
After owning Skyrim for this long, there's still stuff that can surprise me, and I'm glad for that.
Did I clear the whole area? I think I did. Okay, cool. Just bones hanging from the ceiling. Okay.
Just bones.
This is bones.
Bones.
Got no bones about it.
That's it.
Bones.
The Lizzo song Boys, but
Yes.
it's bones.
Them bones, them trombones.
I still am never going to be over the use of that
I,
in King's Quest VI.
I like big bones, itty bitty bones.
Stop.
Thank you!
Stop!
You, Alex!
Don't demonetize my video.
But it's very bold of you to think that my singing voice is good enough to get you demonetized.
Get your nails did.
And that our half an hour talk about why Black Lives Matter is not enough to get you demonetized.
I was actually about to ask, I forget. Are we allowed to custom stream, or does it not matter after we've...
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna mention, on the topic of Lizzo, I recently found her TikTok account. She made a TikTok with her own song edited, so it's just her, feeling good as hell song. Just, waking up and ooh, girl, tired of the bullshit. Ooh, girl, tired of the bullshit. It's so funny.
I mean,
Didn't realize I needed that until now.
But Lydia, why did you push me?
I think there is something
That's not space.
I think there's something inherently humorous about taking a particular lyric to a song and repeating it over and over and over. Even for something as simple as "You better watch out, you better watch out, you better watch out, you better watch out."
See, that's excellent, but it's not the pinnacle of the meme, because the pinnacle of the meme is the years start coming and they don't stop coming and they don't stop
Oh,
coming and they
y'all.
don't stop coming.
Well,
and they
there's
don't stop
also
coming.
Our house, in the middle of our house, our house.
Oh,
there's
where did we
also
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, and of course that immediately disrupted what I was going to do. Oh, it's the gorillas. I ain't happy. I'm in a bag. And it repeats
Yes.
in a bag. I'm useless. In a bag.
The future is in a bag.
Is in a bag. Is in a bag. My future.
Here's another one for you that I just heard this morning. It's that one song, I'm Just a Kid. Because somebody was just singing this in a TikTok. It's like, life is a nightmare, life is a nightmare, life is a nightmare, life is a nightmare. I was like, oh god!
I did see a TikTok that was, you're insecure. You're insecure.
How did that
You're
work?
insecure.
He called me the fun.
Did the wagon nearly kill you?
Oh my god!
Isn't that the second time that's
The
happened to you
wheel's
now?
just spinning! Oh my god!
I'm pretty sure that's at least the second time that you've had a wagon launched at you for no reason. Which is a weird thing to happen twice.
You spin
If
me
I had
right
nickels every
round,
time.
baby, right round like a record, baby, right round, round, round.
I know that you didn't finish the Phineas and Ferb
I was
reference,
about to
Gab,
say!
but I still appreciate it.
I would have 2 nickels, which is not a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right? God.
So good.
I mean, this is why I'm playing this game, is because it is so buggy.
Well, it's Bethesda, so
Bugfesta.
yes.
Yeah. Bugfest. Whew.
Woo!
Oh. Oh.
Oh god. Oh, I thought that was Lore who left the call for a second.
Oh.
And we just lost. Hey, there you are.
Hey.
I heard Griffin say anything and then the call leave button, so I did assume that there was more.
Did you leave because of that joke, Alex?
No, my internet crashed. I don't even know what the joke was. My internet just kept cutting out, and then it just kicked me out of cool.
Well,
Discord says I don't deserve rights.
there are mammoths, so I'm not going to tangle with them.
Yeah, best to avoid that until you're like high level. And even then, I just don't generally fuck with giants. They're cool in my
I
book.
don't recommend tangoing with mammoths. They're not very good dancers.
Fuck off.
Yeah, Bubba.
Okay. Oh, monies.
I mean, you remember what happened when they said cats can't dance, so don't you dare say a mammoth can't.
That is an underrated movie, by the way.
It really is, and it deals with what we were talking about earlier.
Little bit, yeah. What the fuck is a horker tusk?
I don't know, but it sounds dirty.
Hork?
Yeah.
Cool,
Phoenix.
thanks. I have known death after hearing that.
It's like you go, and a
I
tusk
mean-
comes out.
You are a
Gross.
real life Pinkie Pie tomato.
Hard pass.
Yes.
Tomato, I mean, I will say red is a tomato. Real life combination of Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy, perhaps?
Oh, for sure. I would say, let me see what pony I can compare to Jane. I'm gonna assign everybody a pony.
See,
You're
I have
just
to
kin.
get back into my Little Pony mind.
Listen, you're just pony kin typing us. That's just call it what it is.
Alright, well, I'm not gonna do it
we already
anymore.
know. Okay, 2 things. One, I am Rarity. I'm just saying that right now.
I mean, yeah, yes.
Yeah.
I am
Like,
absolutely.
wasn't the only comparison you found for me that one fucking
The
donkey?
donkey, yes. I was literally going to say the other was,
If I
what was
gonna
it?
assign
Cranky?
the main 6, though.
Cranky Doodle is Griffin's donkey Sona in this.
God.
If I had to pick main 6 for everybody, Rarity for Lore for sure.
Yeah.
I think probably Applejack for Griffin.
Yeah.
I think Applejack for Alex. For Jane. Yeah, Fluttershy. Just Fluttershy. Fluttershy with Pinkie Pie voice, but then again, Fluttershy already has a high-pitched voice, so...
No! That was so close.
No.
And I would be Twilight Sparkle, because I, too, stress about everything.
Because you two are a queen.
Aw.
I did
Yeah,
it!
that's the one I was going
Wrong,
for.
but aw.
I mean, it's objectively correct, but go off.
Yeah.
I will. Bye.
No, stay. I love you.
Goes
Please.
off.
I mean, in all defense, you're also a queen, Alex.
Yes.
Listen, my official title is not in fact queen. If you go by the server that I'm in from a bunch of people from my uni, my official title is validation director, which is a title I take very seriously.
Oh fuck! Oh, what the fuck? Where did you come
Accept
from?
on yourself.
Where did you fucking come from?
Oh no. Oh,
Oh.
no, I can't
I
wait to see
mean,
this.
you invited me into the call.
Oh,
Don't
God!
be mean.
Eat kitty!
Kitty.
Oh, Saber Cat scared the fuck out of me. Like, I want to
The
like
furries
them,
found
but I
you.
very much don't.
I think they found this channel a long time ago.
I mean, you know, there's
Looks at Zach.
We were-
I'm joking, Zach. I'm joking.
looks at myself.
Hey, I'm pretty sure he's an unabashed, furry. Okay,
We
so
love that.
I'm gonna be now keeping an eye out for the fucking saber tiger thing.
Here's my suggestion to you. That I've been doing a lot more with my bard character than I have with Jezzy for obvious reasons that I'm realizing. Sneak when you go near places of interest. Like, crouch down and try to sneak around, because it'll let you know if somebody sees you. So, like, for example, if you go to a cave or an area like this with a treasure chest, if you sneak around and suddenly it says you're detected, there's probably something guarding it.
Yep, I am detected. Alright. Yep, there it is.
Ian,
There it is.
Ian in chat. Sabertooth tiger, dragons. It's the OG Power Rangers confirmed. Don't forget mammoths, my dude. We've seen them too.
Yeah.
Wait, what am I doing?
There's only one
Fire?
thing better than a saber-toothed tiger, which is a fire saber-toothed tiger.
You know what's funny about this? Like, because of the angle you were at, with like the tiger being right in front of you, and not being, and not being able to see the entirety of their arms, it looked like a cross between a saber-toothed tiger and a munchkin cat,
Yeah, kinda.
which is
Toe beans!
macabrely hilarious to me.
Toe
I-
beans!
Beans!
I am upset. I
You
love.
invited all
Look at
of
where I
us.
paused it. Look at where I fucking
Beans.
paused it.
Me and the boys
Keep it
at
quiet.
3 a.m. looking
Me and the
for
boys.
beans.
Oh my god. Oh
Me and the boys
fuck.
out at 4 a.m. about to beaten.
Okay, I'm gonna save. I'm gonna save. Game. Look, I know it's impossible that I actually defeated something for once. It's... oh.
It's taking its sweet time.
Okay, there we go.
Aha! Crime successfully saved.
Oh my god. You good there? You good? Lydia? You good?
Where is she?
Yeah.
No, she's lawful neutral.
Oh, she's in ready to attack position, because so are you.
Oh, did I just... I stole the flower out from underneath the butterfly.
Wow!
That's
was-
what we in the business call a pro gamer move.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I watched... okay, so Greenspring Hollow has been cleared. Rorikstead was where I wanted to go. That was the, dragon direction that I was before. Game has better to do, switching... Okay. Occasionally. Ha! Look where I paused it. Fuck you, Ragnar.
I also like how while we had it paused on the saber-toothed cat, and we were just looking at Jane in the comments. You can see his tiny teeth too.
Aw, teeth.
That doesn't sound anything like Jane.
Well, I'm not good at voicing women, surprisingly,
Then why'd you make Casey?
because I'm an idiot.
Ooh. I mean,
Ooh!
you know, tell us something we don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
I mean,
know
honestly, I can't wait to, like, finally interact as Yoichi with Casey. Oh my god.
No,
should
there's
we-
actually.
Oh wow! Oh, that was actually really cool. That was like,
I will say no more.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should probably maybe keep our discussions of that to a minimum, given that a lot of that hasn't been officially announced
Discussions of what, Griffin?
that's
yet.
fine.
Exactly.
Look, all I said
I
was
will
the
say,
name.
Griffin.
I only said the name.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair.
I
I'm
will
just
say,
saying,
if
I
you
will
want to be able to voice women, there's a really simple a way to get it all right, which is to get good.
So
You know what?
I saw a moose, and I said, "Is that a giant?" And well, it turns out the answer is yes. But
Well, yes, a moose is objectively a giant.
It's also not a moose. It's probably an elk.
look, don't semantics
looking
me.
at?
Moose.
It's good semantics because there are no moose in Skyrim.
There are no
The
meese.
plural of moose should be meese.
Meese,
I was just saying there are no meese. Well,
Well, according to the
Actually, there are
encyclopedia
no
of
moose.
Actually.
oh, what? Hello.
Well,
Are
that
you
turned
here
into
to
a whole
attack
lot
me?
of awful real quickly.
You have to help me.
Oh,
I was attacked by a vampire.
I feel like that can sum up most of these streams, though.
Cure this before I turn.
This is just the kind of co-hosts you surround yourself with.
slow down. Where did this happen?
I'll show you on your map so you can stay away. Please, if you can help me, let me know or get out of my way so I can try to find a priest.
Okay. I've got a cure disease potion. I may as well.
Thank the gods.
Oh, you saved her from turning into a vampire. Hell yeah.
I was given 100 gold for that. Sweet. I wasn't using
Nice.
it, so I mean, may as well save her life.
Honestly, it's always good to have a cure disease potion, in my opinion, because if you fight vampires, you can contract the vampire disease very easily, and you'll turn into a vampire.
Hmm.
So you basically stopped her from turning into a vampire. I'm proud of you.
Nice.
And now you know where you can find vampires if you ever need to get some of their dust.
Where is it on the map?
Oh, she said she marked it, didn't she?
Yeah, but I'm not seeing it anywhere near.
Scroll all around, maybe?
I hope I'm not on this earth when meese becomes the correct term to refer to more than two moose. That's because you're a coward.
Oh, actually, right there.
What?
It's okay. So if you scroll back to the right, because I'm a little bit laggy, it's a cave underneath, like south of where you are. There's an unmarked cave, so it's a black cave. It said something Fang, I think.
South of where I am, Broken Fang Cave. Okay.
Yes. So that is a vampire location. I love when NPCs will give you new locations. Like that's so cool to me.
That's cool, and I saved her. Yay!
Yes.
Just by wandering around. I'm gonna save.
Just imagine how terrified she must have been to like fight off vampires, realize she like is feeling sick, and she just is running to every adventure like, please, do you have a cure disease potion? And you're just like, yeah.
Been hunting and fishing in these parts for years.
Oh. I can buy stuff from her. Sweet.
Nice.
But
Oh,
these
she's
are
a
all.
hunter. Neat.
Money can be exchanged for goods and services.
Yes.
I love this game, you guys.
Really, we hadn't noticed.
Really?
Leave me alone.
Never.
It's endearing how much you love this game.
But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to help where I can. That is the sort of like I'm not really necessarily role playing because I'm still like, this is kind of like my authentic me playthrough because I don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
I
Really,
think
the
that's.
best way to play it.
Wait. Did I hear something? No. I
In this game, chances are yes.
I absolutely love the little things in this game. Like, choices in conversation that you would only get on a second playthrough, or, like, yeah, like the little things, like you help save someone's life. It's just a random NPC you may never see again, but, like, that, it just makes the world feel lived in, like she's also an explorer and has her own issues going on.
Meanwhile, we've got Fallout 76, where they made it as devoid of all of the things that made Bethesda games. And then they took, I love all of the measures. They were like, oh, you can't cheat. How dare you get all of these things? We're going to take it all away from you. I earned them because I played your game a lot.
Yeah, I love that, like, some of the banhammers hit the people who were legitimately playing the game, and they just were like, oh, what's it now?
Oh,
Nothing quite like punishing people for playing the game.
I will say also, Undyne, that's Alex, and they are non-binary, so you can refer to them as Alex.
Hi, I don't genuinely believe that people that you're a bad person or anything. I just think that people who don't accept the linguistic reform that the plural of moose should be meese are just not ready for the future of this world.
Oh shit.
Also, welcome back, Jane.
Yes. Welcome back, red as a tomato.
Welcome back.
Let's try to be careful about... Well, I mean, I guess it's also not real world name, but whatever. It's Jane.
Yeah.
It's Jane.
Is Jane.
Yeah.
Tomato. I can't wait for you to go into like a cave or a dungeon or someone's house and you're gonna find a tomato and be like, hey, it's Jane.
It's Jane, our tomato.
Well, maybe if I'm frying one. Oh, they're ghosts? What?
It's us.
That's...
We're always making her fry.
That's a sentence that I just said. There are ghosts. What?
Oh, you found
What?
ghosts. Amazing.
A subjugated
What?
ghost. Okay. Oh. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
I know. I know.
Congratulations, you cremated a ghost.
Yeah, these ghosts are fighting you and they don't want to.
I'm sorry. Well, at least hopefully they are freed now.
Yeah.
Free to
They're
die.
definitely freed when you kill them, but like, I wonder why they're fighting you. I wonder why they're doing it against their will.
Also, why these incorporeal beings are leaving behind dust.
Listen,
Also,
don't worry
why
about
these
that.
incorporeal beings are affected by fire and also
Listen,
swords.
also don't worry about that. Just
Uh-huh.
don't think about it too much. Don't think.
Is
just
that,
don't
that
think about it,
that's
just think about
a
it.
very Bethesda-y motto. Just don't think about it too much.
Salt.
Who are you gonna call?
Salt
Loreley.
busters.
Okay. Oh my gosh, Laura, I gotta tell you something real quick.
Yeah.
So one of my many mods that I have is there's this really cute accessory mod that like if you get a bunch of different ingredients you can make flower crowns and different flower based hair accessories that give you different powers. The whole thing is called Ophelia.
Of course.
The mod is called Ophelia. Everything is like Ophelia Forest or Ophelia Fall or something like that. Like different names around that. And I just every time I see that I'm like
I am still not over the fact that you almost ship-named Scout's parents Ophelia.
Listen, that was actually completely on accident, and I would have left it in if I didn't think it was gonna cause problems.
It's like, oh, potential name for Scout's mom, Velia. And again, I love that fucking, like, her name, Orpheus and Velia. Pause.
And Jane in the comments,
Well-
listen, it was an accident.
Jane was helping me pick out the names. Yeah, Jane was there helping me pick out names, and we both realized both times, like, wait, we can't name them this. we can't do it.
Just-
Won't, coward.
It's just like the pause, and then, well, it's been nice knowing you, Ophelia. I must go immerse myself in lava now. Just, like, oh my god, you don't get more Freudian than that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Orpheus and Velia. Yeah, no. I do love, actually, though, the ship name of Scoff for Scout and Ophelia, because it's so fucking appropriate.
Scoff is beautiful. I fucking love that.
Yes.
All
I mean,
right.
very fitting to the tsundere that is Scout.
Wait, is that a dragon? Did I hear a dragon?
Probably.
Why can I not escape? Why is it red up here? Oh, it's sunset.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That tends to do that kind of thing.
The passage of time inevitably does change those types of things.
I
God, I
am
wish it wouldn't.
getting slowly more detected. Hey! Sorry, buddy. No, I understand. I understand, buddy. I get it. I don't want it for you either, and I'm not gonna push it too far. I'm just gonna
Undyne,
free
in
you.
fairness, I don't know most of what they're talking about. This is a D&D campaign that Gab is the DM for, and Law and Griffin are players in, and I get all of the juicy details.
It is insane for sure. It's essentially a two worlds kind of game. One is a more modern style. The other one is the fantasy D&D style.
Yeah.
And I just stepping back and looking at how beautiful the Scout Ophelia ship is, that they're two people from different worlds. It's so cute.
Gee, they've got an interesting...
One family.
I was thinking the same thing, too.
Listen.
But let's see, that's interesting, too. BT dubs. Let's see, what was it? Star-Crossed Lovers? Does that sound familiar here?
Hi, and welcome to the Gab Call-Out Hour.
Yeah, no, but I also love though, that, like, and I just heard more roaring. Awesome. But I love that, among other things, Gab introduced this guy to be a douchebag, to be a villain.
To be fair, that's also how she introduced Weldon.
Well,
And
yes,
he
and
was supposed to turn into a good guy. Scout wasn't.
yeah, no. Scout was always was apparently, as far as I understood it, he was supposed to be on the path of, serving the big bad of the campaign and all of that. And then I said, I kind of shipped them, and Gab went, hold my beer.
I could work with that.
All right, bye, Undyne. That's
Take
always
care.
a weird thing to say. But yeah, no, I was kind of like toying with. I think it even started with the suggestion of, because Ophelia had already been establishing herself by that point as she's a judgmental bitch, but she also reaches out to people when they show that there's a sign that they're not going to be committed to being an asshole. And so I made the suggestion in terms of, like, taking sketch requests. It's like, what about Ophelia reaching out to Scout? And she actually showed Scout being remorseful after being punched in the face by Jess, another member of the campaign. And I was like, well, I mean, if he were genuinely willing to change, I could see Ophelia also flirting with him, especially Mr. Anime Man with Secret Weeaboo.
Castle.
Yeah.
And then I drew a flirt, and then Gab drew the response to that flirt, and then it kind of just tumbled from there into a full-blown ship. And now we are literally on a rescue mission to save the blonde damsel from the cathedral tower. Jess howl.
See, because I know what Jane means there, because they're talking about Howl's Moving Castle, but for a split second I thought she was just being thirsty for the characters. Jess! Oh!
To be fair, after what Jess did this last session, I mean, that fucking flying owlbear greatsword attack
Yeah.
is one of the most beautiful things I have seen. And, Jess is behind a lot of those, honestly.
You're
And I'm
not
glad for
wrong.
that. Everybody's got their own different strengths going on, and I got to tell, by the way, like, just side note for those who are in the campaign, I got to tell my friend Jay, who is not only the inspiration for two separate NPCs, but their character is in the game as an NPC.
Yes, Timur.
the Tiefling. He's the one who gave the sword to Jess to do that, too. I got to tell Jay about what Timur did, and they were so excited to hear that Timur fucking bonked the owlbear off of Owen as well.
Just bodied an owlbear.
Fucking natural 20 from an NPC, and I'm like, okay, that's good. That belongs there.
Oh, that's a dragon! That is a dragon! Lydia, move!
Well,
Run, bitch!
Why?
Are you just being stalked?
I don't want to fight the
Technically, she's
dragon!
Dragonborn. They do want to kill her.
the hunter has become the hunted.
But I'm not
One of the main
ready!
reasons you'll have dragons coming after you is because they want to prove themselves against the human who thinks that they're a dragon.
Uh-huh. Square up.
Alright, well, I'm, leaving the dragon. I'm gonna do
Couldn't save that one for later.
I'll just, like, when I maybe am not dying to dragons easily,
Dragon tales, dragon tales.
The Jess and Tycho team up. And the thing is, Ophelia is not necessarily combat heavy. Like, she can do a few things in combat, and I will say that if she ever does succeed in something, it can be pretty fucking useful.
I mean, I was gonna say she aced that witch bolt.
When?
The owlbear conflict.
She didn't really, though. what she did was that she did a twinned spell, and she got, I think, 2 of them or was it the 2 of them at once? No,
Yeah,
it
you
was
got
just
2
the
of them.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I can't even remember. Give
No,
Ophelia
trust
time.
me, I get it though, because the normal is for something cool for you to try, and then it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because of the fucking dice rolls.
I will say, after this last level up, Ophelia is about to become a fucking powerhouse, almost literally.
Yeah.
Because I have made a cross-class warlock, or multi-class warlock sorcerer. And I have gotten permission from Gab to go coffee lock on her.
Permission.
Permission? I did ask.
No, that's true. That's true.
And then the thing is that neither of us were aware at the time, but I found an eldritch invocation called Aspect of the Moon. Which means that my baby girl now no longer needs to do a long rest, and can then instead do short rests instead. And as you may know, a warlock replenishes their spells after a short rest. And so, funny thing about a sorcerer, they have flexible casting, which means that they can take sorcery points and convert them into spell slots, and vice versa. There's a sorcery point cost or associated with each of these things. She can only have, right now, 5 sorcery points to work with. But, say she expends those sorcery points into spell slots, and she can add those into her spell slots for the day. And then she takes her warlock spells and converts those into more sorcery points. And then she invests those new sorcery points into new spell slots. And then she does a short rest and gets all of her warlock spells back. And then she keeps doing this after every short rest.
We love a good bit of coffee lock.
She good and broken.
So she is versatile. She is going to have a lot of use to her spells. And the other Eldritch Invocation that I gave her was Disguise Self at Will, or Mask of Many Faces. On top of her performance and persuasion checks being +8 to anything that she rolls with them, she has Charm Person, Suggestion, Alter Self in case she needs to make it a much more, physical transformation as opposed to just disguising herself. She is very much on the social side of things, able to manipulate things in her favor. She has not once needed to cast Charm Person as of yet. That might change.
That's just her natural ability.
Yeah, she's got charisma out the wazoo, so.
She's literally got a charisma score of 20, which is why those other checks are, +7 or +8 right now. Mask of Many Faces, so much fun. So, she's going to basically supercharge how many spell slots that she can do. And I even kind of considered this, but I even realized that, say, she runs out of sorcery points, but she needs more. She just takes one of her 3rd level spell slots that she supercharged earlier and breaks that down into more sorcery points.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oops, all crunch berries, motherfucker.
So,
I'm for it, honestly. I can't wait to throw even more things at you.
yes, please.
Yeah,
So that,
this just gives you an excuse to make more difficult encounters.
and I'm even
yeah.
I'm gonna even add too. The fun thing is the other spell that I actually took with this last level up for her was Hellish Rebuke, which
Oh, that's such a good spell.
it is because it's a reaction that she can optionally use if she gets attacked. So even just someone fucking slices at her, as a reaction to that, she can cast Hellish Rebuke, which does 2d10 damage. And then there's an additional, for each level up that she goes, each spell slot that she goes, which I only learned recently. Apparently Warlocks always cast it at the highest level that they have available.
With their warlock spell slots, yeah.
With Warlock spell slots, yes.
That's gonna be fun to keep track of, by the way.
Yeah, I'm going to do what I can to keep track of that. As of right now, she only has the 2 spell slots. So, there's that. But so... that's going to be fun, but so someone attacks her, she can just on the spot go, burn. Wow, my voice died on that one. Burn. And they will. It's right on the spot. It costs her a spell slot, but it's a first level spell slot right now. And I've cracked the numbers as I have it right now. She's going to have 14 first level spell slots. Why did you let me break your game, Gab?
Because you're not the only one who's doing it. I mean, you're the one who's you're definitely the one breaking the game in that regard. To be fair, okay, listen.
That was 10 different arguments at once.
Listen. I found out about coffee locking on TikTok because I follow a lot of D&D TikTok creators. I sent it. I knowingly sent it. I knowingly shared it with Lore.
And
I knew this would happen, so I have no one to blame but myself.
And that's just it. Like, I saw that, and I even went to you and I said, hey, would you be cool with me doing this? And you had every opportunity to say no, but you didn't.
Yeah, I did have every opportunity, but I didn't, so...
Look, here's the other part of this, too. Ophelia is, she's got 16 intelligence. She is a natural strategist. I mean, her dad's a business person. Her family's a business family. So she's good at mapping out what needs to be done and as best as she can, putting people where they need to be most functional. So I feel like her being able to sort of crack the code in terms of magic even makes sense.
Yeah.
Because that's just how she is that she finds the crack and she just widens it enough to be able to go through. That's how she always operates.
Yeah.
So I am super, super happy that she gets to be technically under-leveled compared with everyone else, but kind of...
be able to keep up.
Yeah, right now she's able to keep up by virtue of all of this. And there's even in-character roleplay reasons for why she is the way she is.
Oh, yes.
She made the pact...
Ophelia, why are you like this?
Because you made me that way. But,
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's coffee locking.
Maybe it's coffee lock.
Fuck off. Anyway. But, so, she's... In character, she made the pact with Titania because she was... Like, I was always going to have her go Warlock, and initially it was going to be a, protect her younger brother situation, like, make his health... And I'm sorry to have used it for something else, but I'm not sorry because it still makes sense for her character, and she wouldn't have thought to do this for Timothy before this point anyway. So, she falls in love with this guy, and then this guy ends up walking out of her life because of extenuating circumstances, and it's pretty clear that the reason is because of the big bad of the campaign. And she didn't know at the time about anything. It was seemingly not of his own choice to do so. So she was just like, no, I'm going to get this guy out of this situation. Hey, Titania! Alright, I'll do the thing, but you do me a thing. Help me get him out of that situation. Titania's like, shrug, okay.
Okay.
Ophelia's not going to, like, sand. Maybe it's coffee, like he yells. She's like, Anakin, lower than everyone else, but essentially the chosen. She's not the only chosen one.
Like,
one of 6, specifically.
Giving examples, Owen here didn't realize he was chosen until, like, very much into the game, like, I've been having prophetic dreams. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And, like, he's undergone quite literally a transformation of his own, because he started as a very sickly artificer character with a terminal disease, barely able to get around, and now he is a 7+ foot tall warforged with self-boosting stat boosting spells for himself and others.
You kidding, buddy? Hey, Garrus. Hey, sweetheart. Oh, it's a good boy.
He's gradually becoming more and more Ava with each level up.
Yeah, and let's see, everyone is literally a chosen one in this campaign. We do have a duo who apparently just multi-classed, between monk and cleric.
His trainer, to clarify, his trainer was actually just a human man from the fantasy world, so not like a human from their world. So he's got magic, he's a monk, and he trained Duo and another student in the ways of being a monk. So Duo's been a monk this whole time, And so now that they're kind of like learning more about magic, he's now multi-classing into cleric to serve the goddess who his teacher's friend served.
Yes.
That's a whole other campaign.
But we're having fun unlocking ways that our characters can variously break the game, including seducing the bad guys away from the big bad. That's actually happened twice now.
Yeah, that seems to be our default.
It's happened twice, and I will not doubt if it happens a third time.
I would not either. I love though. So the first one was Emma, who was a classmate and an old friend of Jess, and they'd recently reconciled in terms of friendship, and then both realized, hey, wait, shit, I like her. They went
Kind of gay, actually.
They went total lesbian like 2 sessions in. Like, it did not take long. But in terms of actually convincing Emma to be like, maybe step away from the Dahia thing for a little bit, took a little bit. And it was technically in conjunction with Ophelia pointing at Anime Boy and saying, that's mine.
I also like how some characters manage to seduce their way into the game, Gab.
A certain bard maid.
Can I explain that to everybody in the chat?
Go ahead.
If you're comfortable doing it.
I had a dream once, like very recently. I had a dream.
A prophetic dream.
I had a dream that was very D&D based. Like, I was in a tavern, and it's like, obviously it wasn't all D&D. Like, there were some weird things. Like, at one point, there very much were, like, a group of 3 girls that looked like the Heathers. Like, just there, at the tavern.
Yeah.
But I also
As you
dreamt,
do.
I was in a more masculine position. I don't think that I was necessarily male, but I was definitely in more of, like, a Flynn Rider kind of aesthetic.
Huh.
And so I'm talking to this lady, and I make some kind of mention of like, oh man, well, I mean, this tavern's full of bards. What makes you think you're the best bard? And she breaks into song and makes the whole tavern go into song. And I'm over here like, well, she showed me. So I sit down at one of the booths with the Heathers, and I'm just sitting there. And she comes over to me and sits in my lap. And then I woke up. I mean, there was more to it than that, but essentially I had woken up and realized that this girl wasn't real, and I was very sad.
All right, that's right, I'm bi.
So instead,
She was the bard who seduced me in my dream.
and so, what she did to alleviate her grief at this girl not being real was to add her to the campaign as
Sorry, to first clarify, I was, you know, when you have a dream about something and you don't, like, you almost can't remember what they look like and you start to forget. I didn't want to forget what she looked like, so I tried very hard to remind myself throughout the day, and then eventually I went through, like, Picroos and I edited a Picker image until it finally looked like her, and I'm like, okay, yes, this is what she looked like to me, I can be fine with this, this is what my dream bard looked like. So now I have an image of her.
Also, hi, Sean.
Yeah, hi,
It
Sean.
would be very easy
Sean.
to add this. Oh god, Sean's here. I'm so sorry. So I added her to the game because I had an image for her, and I had a tavern where I needed several bards to be working at. So it worked out.
I like Sean is like, I can overhear Gab, heart.
I might
So-
be talking to. He was in the other room taking a nap.
So, Dream Bard is now canon in that universe.
I also like how Jane reminded us of the other ship we had in mind, potentially called Religious Studies.
Okay, that requires a bit of an explanation. I'm sorry, Skyrim is apparently on pause right now for this.
Say,
This has
welcome
happened
to,
again.
Loreley Sucks at Skyrim 4, the 4th time we've paused Loreley Sucks at Skyrim to talk about D&D.
But that's just how it be, okay? Anyway.
No complaints.
So there are, in this campaign, there are 4 mages of Dahia. At least there were at the start of it. We have successfully lured 2 of them away. Emma being the quote-unquote easiest of them. And then we had Scout Darlow, who was very much a dedicated mage of Dahia. But then Ophelia came along and that complicated things. And she actually made a convincing argument, more than just, I can be your girlfriend. She actually added some other reasons in there, but I imagine
made
that
him,
was...
like, really question his own morals and convictions alongside the institution of working for this evil dad.
And also, Ophelia's really hot, okay?
I mean,
So he's been at least convinced that he doesn't want to work for them, but unfortunately, again, it's complicated because he was so high up in things, and we don't even know the full story, but he was known as, well, not known as, but that's his secret title anyway, the mouthpiece of Dahia. So there might be other things as to why he can't simply walk away from it, and we're going in to try and rectify that right now. So we're in the process of getting him away, but otherwise we have successfully convinced 2 of these really powerful figures to go, hey, maybe not. The other 2 that are left are a dark elf woman named Liara, and it was an orc or half-orc? Half-orc paladin named Kuzbright. And now Liara, I don't think we're gonna be able to convince her, because she does not seem to be the sort of person that follows logic.
She's a smidge batshit crazy.
It's just a smidge. Kuzbright has shown to be reasonable, but he is very devout, so again, that would not be it would be another step up in terms of difficulty. Now, to explain religious studies. On the Lockheed Earth side of things, these are, like, our characters predominantly are teenagers, students in high school, and they have a teacher named Miss Rosa Lane. And she is an interesting character in herself. She is, a fairly, she's 30-year-old woman who's teaching this class. She can be kind of chirpy when she's in class, very much your standard teacher-esque personality, and a gossip girl, apparently, in her personal life. We kind of jokingly suggested about how we can seduce the other mages of Dahia, and I think, whomever it was, I think it was me, but someone in that call suggested Rosa Lane as a potential match for Kuzbright. And then we kind of thought about it, and it was like, actually, that would be fucking adorable.
And then I came up with the ship name Religious Studies.
Because he's a paladin and she's a teacher, and thus together they are religious studies. The only adult in the party is Duo, who is a student teacher and is 25. Technically, Jess is an adult because she's 18, but she's also a student, so...
Yeah.
But yes, so
Love
that
the
whole...
technicality of, like, well, technically Jess is an adult. Like, that's exactly what an 18-year-old would say.
Yeah. Duo's
As the youngest person in this call, I can absolutely say that is exactly what I would have said 2 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, I'm technically an adult, that's alright. That's okay, but compared with me, you are still baby.
Oh, no, I'm not an adult, even slightly.
I
Right.
mean, neither am
You
I,
only,
I'm 30.
like, we were just saying that, like, when you're finally 18, you think, yes, I'm an adult now, I can do whatever I want. And then when you're 19, you're like, God, I didn't know what the fuck I was thinking.
Yep.
Listen, I'm moving into my new house in, like, less than a month now. And
Nice.
I have to I'm currently dealing with, like, sorting out bills and getting internet sorted. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I especially don't want to do that while I'm shielding. Like,
yeah.
It's what the kids call a bad time. I wish I was, like, 4.
Yeah. That's also... I
Can
mean, I will
I
say that the
become
older you
baby?
get, that desire does not go away.
You can always
so-
be baby, you're fine. You can be
yeah. We'll take care with... Well, can't we say we can take care of the adult stuff, but you can be baby with us. We just can't take care of your bills for you, unfortunately.
Aw.
bills.
You're not going to be my sugar parents. Wow, rude much.
Look, when I am making $10,000 a month, I can do that, okay? I can be a sugar mama.
I sometimes feel that way when I'm donating to different Patreons. Anyways.
That's right, sweetie. You go ahead and take that $5. Just know that Mama will take care of you.
For you, sweetheart.
Wait, Lord, that means I'm more of a sugar parent to you than you are to me.
Are you still $1 a month?
Yeah, I'm subscribed to your Patreon.
Yeah, so you're still $1 a month, and that's fine. I appreciate that. But then I also am your emotional support Loreley, so that kind of goes back and forth.
At this
What-
point, it's
what
just
was-
therapy.
Well, hold on. I feel like I need
sorry.
to expose myself here because
Excuse me?
I sent you
Live
a
on
message.
stream?
Are you
Oh,
trying to
today.
demonetize? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I derailed you.
I said, quote, I only have like 3 brain cells, and one of them is 24/7 dedicated to lore. It alternates between man, I love lore, man, I hope lore is doing okay, and man, I can't wait to hear about lore's various fictional endeavors. That is a direct quote from our Discord DMs from today. From today. Well,
Yeah.
yesterday for me now.
Yeah.
It's 1 a.m., baby.
It's 1 a.m., baby. But,
I'm a 1 a.m. baby.
gosh. Anyway.
It's what you deserve.
So we're
It's the 1
steadily
a.m., baby.
we're steadily trying to see what we can do to diminish the amount of power that Dahia, the big bad of this campaign, as far as we know anyway, has. And this is actually being done on a few different fronts, including the potential reintroduction of a goddess that has been previously shut out and denamed within the realm.
The one that has been giving Owen prophetic dreams.
Yep. And literally the first thing they do upon getting into this alternate fantasy reality is start spreading the word of this goddess and getting her name spoken and known.
I'm so proud of y'all.
And, like, that's literally... Because here's the other thing. The first thing that they did is they went into a tavern, and they started putting on performances, even though we have 2 bards officially in the party, but the person who was in the most performances is the fucking sorcerer warlock.
Yeah.
Charisma based though, so there you go.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. She is very charismatic on multiple fronts. All right, bye, Phoenix. Take care. But yes, so we put on a performance, and I think at the peak of it, when there were the most patrons, in the tavern, Ophelia gave a quick proselytizing speech about, we're here because we're following our dreams, and if you want to follow your dreams, then you should figure out the name Contessa. See our apostle friend over at the bar for more instructions. For more details.
Closed instruction book.
Yep.
This definitely
You
doesn't
need
sound like a cult.
instructions.
Oh my god.
I'm so proud of y'all for doing
Louis is doing his best. On Discord right now, my status
that. I noticed.
is the Louis face. So there's, like, in that server we have the Louis face as an icon, as an emoji. And then it's Louis time. That's in support for Louis because he is a fucking cinnamon roll at this point.
Definitely.
He is a dear. Anyway,
My son
he's
deserves more. He needs
It's
to get out
Louis
of this
time.
Jesus. I'm proud of my sons.
yes,
In other news, Griffin is now banned.
yeah.
Well, one wasn't I.
Oh.
But Louis is technically a bard by virtue of having inherited a wizard bard. And he loves music. He loves making music. He is terrified of performing it.
Performance anxiety boy because he never had that support as a kid.
Yes, and so Ophelia's been trying
I
to...
want to hug him.
I know. And I will say Ophelia has been doing her best to try and encourage that and support him as he possibly transitions into doing that a little bit more. Who's number one now? Louis. Yes. And especially because he took a moment after Ophelia got temporarily possessed by Peak to be like, hey, you okay? And talk with her afterwards. And I was just like, oh, he's so sweet. I also love their friendship. I was just gushing about this, like, last night. I was like, I'm so happy that these two are actually friends, because they started out this campaign with him being terrified of her and her utterly dismissing his existence. And now they're actually buddies.
Yeah.
But okay, so yeah, so on the multiple fronts they're trying to, like, reduce the amount of power that Dahia has in these small little ways that are undermining her. She's still a goddess. She still has unknown quantities of power, at least as far as we know. And there's some other, wonky fucky shit going on behind the scenes that we're kind of slowly peeling back the layers on, that, there's some other shit that's going on that's making this even more corrupted and bullshit. And we're working towards figuring that out, but with every Mage of Dahia that we can strip away...
Sometimes literally.
That we can strip. End of sentence.
Yeah, that we can strip. Away! Right, turning page over. Right, okay. But yeah, no, we're having fun with this. I am excited for tomorrow because there is potentially the chance we could be finally getting into the cathedral. Depends on what we all do, obviously.
I mean, there's nothing really else. I mean, if you guys want to explore Silver Rock before going to the cathedral, I'm not going to argue with that, but I mean, why would you?
Yeah, Ophelia's probably going to be a little bit impatient to get into the whole let's storm the castle /
She might actually run off without them.
I mean, if they actually hesitated when she says, all right, if we're ready to go, let's go. And they're like, well, let's take a look around Silver Rock. She'll, like, set them on fire and then go.
Understandable.
But, like, peeling back the layers like an onion. Onions have layers. Yes, they do. But yes, we're pretty much poised to go literally storm things. And it's actually twofold there, too, because we're storming to rescue Scout and then also grab something from his dad and quite potentially try and recruit his dad. That is a very slim chance because he is a high priest of Dahia. Another reason why it was complicated for Scout, because, you know, that's literally his entire family's thing for generations, in fact, has been devotion to Dahia. So yeah, now it's literally changing everything he's ever known because a hot girl flirted with him over a sending stone.
You ever change your whole life because girl?
I mean, to be fair, it's Ophelia, and of course, I'm pretty sure she's like, well, that's worth changing for. But yes, why not set the castle? Look, we don't necessarily want to set the cathedral on fire because there's a mix of people there that are either in the flock because they genuinely worship Dahia because they think she is a good person, and probably people who are not in the best interest of the population or people. But setting fire to the entire thing isn't going to help things. And also, it might summon the two other mages of Dahia, which will flatten us in seconds, probably?
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but they are much higher leveled.
Oh, yeah. A girl worth fighting for.
I just as a side note, I legit think even just, I won't say which one of the two, but one of those two could probably total party kill.
Yeah. Well, and I still love that Scout nearly did that, actually, very early on. And I love that that led to a conversation where he joined a meeting via Sending Stone, and to each person introducing themselves, hi, I'm Louie, and you tried to kill me. Hi, I'm Ken, you tried to kill me. Hi, I'm Jess, you tried to kill me.
Voice, yes, I'm aware, I apologize.
Although, the only ones that broke the pattern were Ruby, for obvious reasons, who was a former... I don't want to say underling, but former associate.
Essentially, she was also a priestess of Dahia, working for Scout.
Yeah.
Specifically him.
And then there was Emma, who was like, yep, hi, I'm also here. And then there was Mwelden, who, upon introducing himself, said...
Sup, fucker?
No, hey, fucker. Let's get it right, okay? He just goes...
I gotta say, the meta reason is because I panicked and tried to think of something funny, but, like, in character, it's not as funny. In-game, it's because he also panicked.
He does not know how to socially interact with Scout in a way that is not antagonistic.
Because he's so used to them greeting each other that way, even, like, in friendly/non-friendly terms. So saying that out of nowhere, he's like, yes, that might have been inappropriate.
You are motherfucker.
That's just it. Ophelia immediately called him out on that. And I love that Scout's response was amazingly patient, considering. I'd like to think that it's because Ophelia actually did tell him previously that I think that he's actually glad that you're getting out of this. He probably cares more about this than he's letting on, but he's probably not going to tell you because it's Mwelden.
I think also he kept it in mind that Scout is definitely the one who needs to be rescued in this situation, and he's done a lot of bad shit, so hearing the hey fucker, he's like, yeah, I probably deserve that.
But yeah, so the patient response of, yes, I know you're there too, was probably more than Weldon deserved in that, but again, he panicked, and Scout was just like, eye roll, okay. And Ophelia immediately goes, was that necessary? He's like, it's a joke! Yeah, is he in on that joke? And Weldon immediately recanted.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ophelia. So here's a funny thing. Weldon is basically dad friend to Ophelia, but there have been moments where Ophelia has been mom friend to Weldon.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't want to go into all the details, but Weldon is not that much older than these people.
Technically.
He's younger than Duo.
Technically, but the age is fucky too, because he's in the body of a man who's in his, late 30s, early 40s?
Something like that. Older half-elf gentleman, but a half-elf, so, like, even older for half-elves is still...
Yeah.
Like,
But inside he is
dilated.
baby.
Inside, he's still but 23, I believe.
But 23?
Baby is a state of mind.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle.
So,
Weldon voice, I am choosing to be baby.
Yes, and Duo's response with Scout was basically sort of a semi-skeptical but also optimistic, like, alright, let's start this over again. And also approved of the fact that Scout apologized to Tycho on the spot, because Tycho was the one who almost actually died. She got down to 0
she was
HP.
the one who was about to die.
And Duo is particularly protective of Tycho, because Tycho is his dad.
So glad you said it like that.
But they are, as soon as Scout made his apology to Tycho, Duo was basically like, good. But
I love
yes.
this too, by the way. I just wanted to make note because I watched Tom's streams yesterday and today. In both of those streams, without me having to say anything, the topic of Tycho came up. And I'm like, oh, I'm so glad. We get to just talk about the babies. Is all I'm saying. I'm
and we get to do that. We get to do that here too, apparently. But yeah, there's a lot of we are very excited for tomorrow. I think one of the reasons why I keep talking about this whenever we're in call is because this is the day before we have our D&D session, so we're just like amping up the hype for all of it.
We're very excited. We're ready for it.
But yeah, so there's so much that's going on. I am so excited for all of it. I am so happy for the development of all of these characters. Everyone so far has had a character arc.
Yeah.
Owen decided to do something that was not great. I know that I've talked about this before, but summarizing, he mentioned he's now a Warforged. The way that he did that was literally moving his soul out of his old body and then setting it up like he was murdered in a way that had him stabbed through the chest. And the thing is that he didn't tell any of his friends what was going on. And Ophelia, now there's no way that Owen could have known this because she doesn't talk about this. The only person who knows actually is Duo, who she actually spent most of the campaign hating. Complicated. Anyway. So in her backstory, her little brother was attacked 2 years ago when he was 10 years old. And the way that he was attacked was basically stabbing in the chest. And unfortunately, as part of that, it did basically graze his heart and leave scarring on it. And he almost did die. Thankfully, he survived because Ophelia literally walked in and found him and got him immediate medical help. But he's had his health affected of that ever since. She's become super overprotective of him as a result of that. So she has already PTSD related to stabbings, and particularly stabbings of the chest. And so she walks into Owen's room and finds him stabbed in the chest, pinned to a corkboard. And she did not have a good time after that. Are those on what? I don't know what you're talking about.
If you're talking about the campaign, it isn't posted anywhere.
Yeah, no, we're not. Yeah, we're one, we're doing it in private, and two, we are not associated with IR. Period.
No.
We haven't been for 3 years.
Yeah.
No, this is our campaign that I just like talking about it. Okay.
Yeah.
There is going to be a campaign going up on my channel soonish. I need to get some other things under the way, but it involves a lot of the same people in this call, actually. But yeah, so where was my train of thought? Sorry, I derailed myself. Oh yeah, so she
Owen
walked
fucked
in.
up.
Yeah, she walked in on Owen having done the very thing that was worst for her psychologically. And the best part is, Ophelia being the way she is, she was not okay, but she also immediately recognized that what they needed was not her passing out or having a panic attack, but analyzing the scene to figure out what happened. And she was the one to take the front on that, even as one NPC who was there passed out, and one of the player characters was so overwhelmed that he had to run from the room to go puke in the toilet. So he was not okay. None of the characters were okay, but Ophelia had to put on a strong face for quite some time after that. And when she had a second to sit down, then she had a panic attack. And then she found out, oh, wait, no, he wasn't murdered. He just did a kind of semi-suicide thing. And then he's actually okay and was planning this. And it was for, to make them know, oh, yes, there's going to be a serial killer, so we should keep out an eye for that. And also, by the way, there's another goddess and etc. A huge exposition dump. And meanwhile, Ophelia's like, you son of a bitch!
You didn't have to do it.
You could have, and the argument that both she and Ken made on the spot was, you could have told us.
And of course his argument was, if I told you, you would have stopped me.
You don't know that, and will never know, because you never tried. You never figured out what we might have even said about it. You did nothing to even try, and the entire time you've been trying to throw wrenches in the work for what we're trying to do. So if you'd communicated a single 2-second explanation of, yeah, I'm gonna kill my body, but put myself in another one, so I'm gonna be okay, the team would have probably been okay with that. Probably to an extent.
Not entirely certain.
If they knew what he was doing, right? Okay, if they knew that he was going to be okay, it would have been better than Ophelia walking in on her friend being stabbed in the fucking chest.
Well, also, given how frequently they naysayed him whenever he spoke up, maybe this isn't the good idea. I can also understand him thinking, yeah, they're never gonna go along with this.
Well, that's because he was being a stubborn little shit.
Well, if by stubborn little shit you mean remotely disagreeing with Ophelia.
He pointed a gun at Weldon! When they met!
Well, to be fair, he was also acting really fucking suspicious. And of course he wouldn't have any way to confirm any of the shit they knew because they just had prophetic dreams about it.
Weldon was not behaving suspiciously in that scene. He was giving information very openly, and then Owen just decided, well, he might be lying, so I'm gonna point a gun at him.
Oh my god.
It'd be like that sometimes.
It'd be like that.
Communication is key, Jane, I agree.
I'm not agreeing with you. Don't put words in my mouth.
Duo left the door wide open, yeah, Owen did not consult anyone on the team. And it's like, he could have even, say for example, told Duo. He could have told Jess. He could have told the people that he did trust in the team and told them not to tell the others until it was already finished. So that when that happened, after it was already finished so that they couldn't stop him, they could have told the rest of the team and thus kept them in the loop instead of having them panic for several hours.
Oh, true, but he also has some very serious trust issues considering his mother, the one person he thought he could trust the most for 13 years, never told him that he had a terminal illness.
Yeah,
right.
Ultimately what it boils down to is, us, the people playing the game. Even me as a DM, I disagree with what Owen did, but in-game, there are plenty of reasons as to why it was done. Not saying that he was in the right.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
No.
But, it makes sense for both his character and then, in turn, Ruby trying to protect him instead of turn him away.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's one of those things where, in character, it makes sense. It is a fantastic roleplay moment. The problem is that Ophelia is not going to forgive him for a long time because of her backstory and her PTSD related to this.
Oh, absolutely.
You shouldn't have to.
Exactly.
And yet we're in a position where she's literally putting her in the same fucking team to go rescue scouts, so it's one of those, and again, that is still in character for Ophelia, because she does put sometimes her personal feelings by the wayside if it means the strategically important thing to do.
Yeah.
But after Castrito's like, hey, don't try too hard, let the kid come to you. Okay, pups, thanks! Flash forward to Duo finding out Owen committed seppuku.
I mean, basically.
Yeah, none of the people were particularly happy. There were some people who were like, I'm just glad that you're okay. Ken and Ophelia both stomped off like, fuck you. Jess ran off because she just was overwhelmed with all of the shit. After punching Owen in the face, by the way.
Yeah.
Punching Metal Boy in the face and denting it badly because her paladin weapon is her fists.
Do that to me.
Well, we just learned what your fetish is.
Yeah. Oh, Alex!
No, it's
Alex!
not a fetish. I just like
No, I just
powerful
love that.
people
I love
who
that
can
response,
and will
though.
beat me up on command.
I love that response though in turn, because not that you would necessarily know this unless it was brought up in conversation too, but like just having those moments of like extreme gay doesn't know how to react, like especially in the last campaign where like everyone's asking you to arm wrestle her, so as soon as like the strong woman's like, I want to arm wrestle you, just is like, okay.
I mean, this is the epitome of gay panic. Let's not
Yes.
get
Oh,
ourselves.
yes. Although, I will say, and this is just me because filtered through my perspective in the game, it was hilarious when they first arrived at that tavern, and the hot bard approaches the table, and, like, Jess and Emma were like, oh my god, this is hot lady, and I am super lesbian right now. And Ophelia immediately hits on her. Casually, without damn issue. Just immediately, like, here are the menus, let us know if there's anything you want. Oh, well, are you on the menu? Like, just instantly fucking dropping the flirt. And, like, both Jess especially, I don't know how much Emma was reacting, like, how?
Yeah, they're both like, wait, how can you do that?
You
It
just...
took us several years of our friendship to realize that we were dating.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Also, like, I would like to add the note that just Jane in the one comment, step on. Because I'm a certain distance away from the monitor and I don't have my glasses on, for a split second I thought Jane typed in strap on in the comments.
Oh my god.
No, we're not quite there yet.
Not yet.
But, and like, that's just it. Ophelia did it so fucking casually. And, like, it even continued with, like, well, maybe, depends on how much money you have. So I'll get back to you when I'm rich and famous. I'll have to keep that in mind. And so, like, this hot bard lady, this was, by the way, the bard lady from Gab's Dream. And Ophelia...
Literally the woman of your dreams.
So, funny thing with all of that, too, Ophelia is not lesbian, but she is biromantic. She is asexual. She's biromantic asexual.
Yeah.
Which she literally has no problem flirting with people. One, because of background and her mom. And also just because she's not going to easily get embarrassed. Because if a flirt fails, then it's like, oh, that didn't work. And also she has confidence that I could never even dream of having. Not
The true
one...
fantasy in these D&D games is having confidence.
That's one of the nice things, is being able to pretend that you have more confidence than you could ever muster in your entire life. Ophelia is good for that. And I can't tell you how many times she goes on to do something that I have to pause and go, oh god, okay, alright, she's about to say this. I have to pause and go like, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but it's Ophelia's, so she's going to. And then she'll do or say something that I think one of my... There's so many of those moments that I fucking... Like, when she first walked up to Scout when he came over to Lockheed at her request, and the first thing she does is put her hands on either side of his face and go, thank you for the expedient delivery of that handsome face I asked for.
Yes.
God.
And he had kind of like a blue screen moment where he had to step back and kind of be like, right, you're welcome. Yeah, I'm here now.
I'm here. I had the thing I was gonna say, but fuck that. I can't remember it now.
I'm kind of here. Correct.
Oh, God. Okay, Griffin and I talked about this, and here's another thing. Okay. We talked briefly about tiny cam, and then I realized that we need a tiny mechanical cam to keep on, like, Yona or something like that.
Yeah.
Because, just, like, imagine Cam being in someone's bag and someone makes some kind of statement and you hear this tiny, correct.
To explain, we mentioned before, or I had mentioned before, that Owen is an artificer, which means he can construct magical, items and constructs and things like that. In addition to making his own warforged body, he also made a giant mechanical bat named Camazotz, or Cam for short. And it's basically a giant robot bat drone that he uses for reconnaissance in the town of Lockheed, where the modern setting of the campaign takes place. And people have taken a shining to this character.
Far more than Owen right now.
Yeah. Mainly because he speaks in simple, pre-recorded messages. And he basically has been tasked with protecting and keeping an eye on everyone in the campaign when they're in the modern world setting.
Mm-hmm.
And he's become somewhat of a new mascot for the campaign, I suppose.
Yeah, on top of Prin and Weldon.
Yes.
But anyway, I'm not going to force it, obviously, but I would love for there to be a tiny Cam that's linked to big Cam.
Yeah, so I could see Owen doing that, yeah.
Yeah, especially to keep with Yona, to keep her safe. But
that's just it. I was even considering at one point, Owen maybe having constructed a smaller model Cam thing as a demo before eventually making the big one.
Prototype.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so that is... Fuck you. Anyway, but I love the idea. I mean, honestly, the idea even came to me because there was this picture of a bat with someone offering it a Pepsi cup.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, but this is the entire party towards Cam right now. It's just we'll take care of you. Don't you worry. We'll make sure that you're good. All right. Good night, Ragnar.
Yes.
And yes, potential small buddies. It would be Prin-size. Prin could hug Cam, and that is the best thing. But yeah, so trying to trace back. Well, yeah, Ophelia is a natural flirt. There are some moments that, okay, I've already captured the audio from that first call that she made over after their initial encounter.
Yes.
And I'm going to transcribe that and see what I can do to possibly get Justin to record the other lines.
Yes.
And re-record it on my end, officially in Ophelia voice. Because I would also love to do a sort of visual novel-esque visualization for that. Of the two of them on both sides of that conversation and various sprites popping up as they're talking.
Well, I would love to help with that.
I was going to ask, but...
I would love to help with that!
But yeah...
Shout out the skeleton 08, by the way.
Yes. In one call, Scout went from suspicious that she's even calling, doubting that she has any good intent, period, because she's on the other side and associated with the criminal wizard that is apparently an affront to Dahia and all of that. In one call, in fact, it didn't even take that long into the call before, well, the pretense was, I'll listen to your side and maybe I'll defect, depending on how effective your argument is. However, that was surrounded by her making several insinuations and flirtations in his direction. He mostly held up okay for the first few attempts, but then I think the turning point was definitely the... If I were recruited in, would I be directly under you? And that was when he rolled a 2 on his constitution check, on his composure check.
Couldn't hold it together anymore. He was like, I can't.
Hi, and welcome back to Rolling for Boners.
Stop.
But that was pretty much where the rest of the demeanor of the conversation changed, where he was just like, okay, so, she wants me to come over and talk to her, so I'm gonna come over and talk to her. He very quickly turned that around too. He was like, yes, I'll see what I can do and make arrangements to possibly come over there, possibly at some time in the and then the next day. Next day, he calls and is like, I can come over. Let's arrange for that. What day would you like me to come over? I mean, tomorrow's good. Is tomorrow good?
Yes. Also, like Jane in the comments, I can't. I
Yep.
can't. I can't. I can't. Bottom universe fear. Here we are.
Are you okay there, Alex?
Hello, yeah, I am.
Okay, sorry. You sounded like you were wilting, and I was like, oh, my baby child.
Oh, I could never while I'm being fed by juicy mutton juiciness. I'm sorry I haven't said
Wow.
anything in a while. It's just that I as a person who is not part of this campaign, I don't have a huge amount to add to this conversation.
Well, I mean, you've heard a lot
But
about
I will
it,
continue to add funny anecdotes because of course that's my role here in the stream. Is I'm the funny one. That's the one that we're taking.
That's the one role that hasn't been filled yet. Yes.
too. Yeah, we're not very funny. But,
I'm finna fight. All three of you at once.
fear. Okay. But yeah, no, another favorite moment before things kind of went to hell was the morning of. So they planned to actually have a meeting because initially her attempts to persuade Scout maybe Tahia is not a great idea didn't go over too well. Like, she was kind of like, maybe he kind of was like, okay, I can at least hear this out. She suggested that they talk with Welton, who was technically a former mage of Dahia from another timeline. That's complicated. We've talked about it before, but so they had a meeting. They arranged for a meeting, and the morning of that, Ophelia goes in to kind of, pull him out for the day because he is staying at her house, and he's doing so under the pretense of being a girl, and so they need to kind of prepare for that, arrange for that, and get him out. But as they were preparing to leave for that, of course she can't not flirt with him. Like, this has become an ongoing thing where it's a consistent thing where she says something flirtatious towards him, at least one thing at a time. Initially, because they had actually been attacked the day before, he'd gotten a nasty swipe across the chest or something like that, and so she asked how that was doing, and he's like, yeah, no, it's fine. She offered to take care of it for him, and he's like, no, we're okay, I'm good. And she followed that.
Good.
Yeah. She also followed that up with asking about whether or not he's going to be wearing his cape, his distinctive cape, because the rest of his outfit is already kind of like extra enough. The cape kind of takes it to, are you cosplaying territory? So she asked about it and kind of said, it is going to make you stand out quite a bit if you wear that around town, so, maybe pack that away for a little bit. And he's like, well, I mean, I don't see what's wrong with it, but I mean, okay, if you insist. And so, I scripted this out technically ahead of time when she was going to do this, but at that, she actually gets up real close to him, like almost in whisper in your ear territory, basically whisper in your ear territory, and says, what was the exact wording there? Don't get me wrong, I love that cape on you, but let's just say I want to keep the best of you to myself. And that, well, Gab tried to roll a composure check, but the dice popped right back out of the bin.
Yeah.
And I suggested that if it does that because she's so flustered that when she tries to roll it, it rolls out of the bin, that maybe that just automatically counts as an under 10. She agreed. And then what was the description of that again? It was in anime, sometimes you'll see a character have like that slow shiver rolling up their body to the top of their head.
Yeah, the Ghibli effect.
Yes.
I feel like you've got to play Rule of Cool with something like that. Like,
Honestly.
Yeah.
So that apparently happened, and he had nothing to say in response to that. He
Like,
was
completely red face, like steam coming out of the ears, like, okay,
Yes.
let's go.
he was officially in blue screen territory. So Ophelia decided to actually give him a chance to speak again by saying, like, but that is ultimately up to you. Like I said, I do like that cape on you, so if you want to wear it, I'm not going to object. And that actually gave him a chance to be like, okay, right, yeah, no, had to hit the reset button on that one.
Had to restart my brain.
He blue screened. Whoops.
And please, Scout, keep the cape on.
Look, And now I have to draw that shit. Okay.
now I'm thinking about it.
You're welcome.
I feel like, oh god, no. I was gonna say they can have a cape session, except that Ophelia might feel a little awkward with that, given that who she got her set of her cape from.
Yeah.
Scout.
Have a little
Without
cape.
I mean,
wings.
Scout might feel awkward too. Where do you think he got his cape from?
ScoutDarlo.exe is not responding. Yeah. But yeah, no, she got her cape specifically modeled to the way that it was because of his cape. I mean, she doesn't have a half cape like he does, but basically because he was the reason she went Warlock. There are a few references to that, including the cape, being the form that her Wings of Fae takes. But also the fact that she took the Pact of the Tome because he is a wizard and thus he uses a spellbook. So she's like, I'll get a spellbook too!
I want a book.
So, yes, the two
Imitation
of...
is a sincerest form of flattery.
I mean, yeah. Meanwhile, I will also say, like, after that point, Scout disappeared, and there was some hard, angsty times in the meantime. And then at one point, she did actually manage to get in contact with him. She tried once, and he wasn't able to pick up. She tried again, and apparently interrupted him talking with a couple of other ladies in the cathedral, and he just basically panicked. Because the thing is that you described that we hear him walking away from them, which means that he activated the stone before actually getting someplace private. That's the thing that gets me about that, is like he basically panic button pressed and it's like, wait, I should probably
so, yeah.
Either so panicked that he did it by accident, or so excited
To be
he
fair,
wasn't even thinking.
meta reason, I think I might have forgotten how like the sending stone works, but at the same time, I'd like to imagine that he did just panic press it.
And then he's like, wait, I should get someplace private. Hang on.
Can I just say though, by the way, I love that when you guys get to the cathedral, you will get to meet those nice old ladies.
Nice. Nice.
I'm excited for that.
But then they got to have a nice little conversation where Ophelia's like, so you don't hate me, right? And he's like, what?
I could never.
But they were able to work that out, including some interesting details about what Dahlia is and all of that, and her, Ophelia leaving the suggestion that they might be coming out that way at some point, maybe without any specific details, and he's just like, okay, yeah, I'm amenable to that. And then she called later that night, and that was one of those things where I knew that was going to be, well, I wanted it to be a longer conversation, but I knew that in session that it was going to take, like, hours kind of thing. It would take up a long time, and that's not time that should be taken away from other people in the middle of the campaign. So Gab and I actually had this conversation on the side, and I kind of compiled it all into a document of the two of them talking. Because some other news came up between the first time she called that day and later that evening, including the Titania giving her the charm that she'll need to be able to free scout. So she's like, all right, we are going to be going there like soon, so we need to know a few things. And Scout was just kind of like, wait, what? Okay, okay. She also mentioned, we're also going to need to speak with your dad. And he was basically immediately like, why? Like,
Yeah, that seems a little, why is that a step in this?
And then it's because Daddy has a thing that they need. And she doesn't want to fight him. She doesn't want to, like, because that's Scout's dad. And even if they have a rocky relationship, like, it's still gonna be a bad thing if they do something to hurt him, you know?
Yeah.
He may be okay with it intellectually, but that's still one of those things. Like, it's not cool when it's your parent, especially when it's a surviving parent of two, and you've already lost one parent. The ending of that, yes. So, among other, so that first conversation that day actually ended with Ophelia accidentally saying, bye, love you. Which was, I even specifically, like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna roll for this. If it's over 10, she'll say it. If it's under 10, she won't. And I rolled a 19, so she said it. And Scout basically got to have I actually did a short animation of that, where he basically drops the stone in shock.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when she called back later, they have a nice conversation. There's a little bit of, like, nice, cute back and forth, including her explaining, yeah, no, here's a couple of things that you might need to know, including, I made a pact with a fairy. It's a good one, I promise. And it was to save you. And he was just kind of like, but why? And she's like, because. And she went on to actually explain the full because, but... So it was really cute conversation. Then it ended with him like, well, she already said, "I love you," so maybe I could indicate something. And he ended that by saying, "And good night, my love." And then there's like this moment in the text of the conversation where he's like, wait, was that the appropriate escalation here? Was that too much? And Ophelia did have her own little steam escaping from the ears moment. Like, she went full red. And with the way that I described it in the text, like, if this was an anime, and it is, she would have gone full red with steam popping out of her head. And there was a long pause where she processed it, and then she finally... So, in the initial flirtation, she referred to him as Darling, because his last name is Darlow. And then she backed off of it because he kind of indicated he wasn't fully comfortable with that. After him calling her my love, she responded with, "We'll talk soon, darling." And he panicked, let go of the stone, and the way that it was described was that it was basically a perfectly cut scream of him burying his face in his hands, and then actually screaming, yelling softly to himself. I ended up drawing fan art of those. They are so cute, and that was the perfect end to that conversation. And I'm glad that they got to have some cute things after a lot of tension, actually. A lot of angst and tension, and it's like, oh, here's a cute moment for once. But, so, alright, we have spent more of this stream talking about shit than actually playing this game.
Yeah.
How par for the course is that for our stream stack?
Honestly.
I could try
We
to...
might as well just turn it into a podcast at this rate.
I mean,
If
that's...
yeah.
I have no problem doing
fine
that.
with either.
But, part of it is also that it is technically past the end of my stream time. As much as I would love to actually go into this area and, like, try to play some game, I'm also running out of steam on my end. This has been a long conversation. It is super late for Alex, and they're probably going to want to go to bed. Hello, Goldilocks. Welcome. I'm going to be closing down the stream momentarily, I think is what I'm going to be doing. So, yeah, I'm going to... Because I did just save it, right? Yeah, I'm just going to save it again to be on the safe side because, you know, I'm going to quit. Just going to quit. Quit to desktop, yes. And I'm going to reiterate what I said at the start of this stream. We had a 30-minute conversation about this, but I'm going to keep driving the point home on this, you know, until change finally does happen. But I am fully advocating Black Lives Matter.
Same.
Because we're in a situation in this country where it's been pushed too far past the breaking point, and the fact that things are still as civil as they are is a testament to the patience of Black people. I absolutely support making change in this country to stop institutionalizing racism and, you know, bigotry and all of that stuff. I am all for, yeah, it's an important issue. Represent, yep. So it's complicated. I don't think it's all that complicated to say Black Lives Matter. And again, I reiterate now what I said at the start of this, is that Black Lives Matter does not mean that they matter more. It means that they matter also, and have not been treated that way. I will say this again, in the link, in the description of this video, there is a link where you can buy a bundle of games from itch.io, the Bundle for Racial Justice and Equality, where you can get 740 plus games for $5 or more if you want to chip in more. And all of the funds will be going directly to the NAACP Legal Defense and Education Fund, or Educational Fund, and Community Bail Fund for protesters who have been unlawfully detained. And I say that because they can say that it is lawful detainment, but it is absolutely unconstitutional and thus unlawful. All money, all proceeds for that are going to that, and $5 gets you 740 plus games. There's literally no way to lose in this unless... I mean, I will also say, not everyone has $5. I will say that too. I know that sometimes I've had to debate whether or not I've had $5 to put towards something. I am not super financially secure. I mean, I've got enough for my needs on a regular basis, but I can't say continually donate $100 to stuff every month. But I have been chipping in where I can. I did support this as well. If you want to support it, that will be a link in the description of this video. And also, Griffin brought in, it was blacklivesmatter.carrd.co or blacklivesmatter.card.co. So if you want to go there, not only does that a great resource for where you might be able to contribute, lend help, but also self-educational. It tells you what the issues are that are being presented, things that need to be addressed, and what we can do going forward.
Yes.
We are all brothers and sisters, and it is a shame, a grieving, terrible shame, that at any point people have been able to look at these people and say, you deserve that, for what they've actually had to endure. I am 100,000% behind change, and as I was even saying earlier, like, you don't have to be an individual savior in this situation.
Thank you, Shikarian.
Thank you, Shikarian. Well, here's 10 for you from Shikarian. Thank you so much. But individually, we can do a lot, even just by saying Black Lives Matter. If you've got thousands of people, millions of people saying Black Lives Matter, then the people who are trying to silence that know that they are outnumbered. So even just by saying that, the people who need support will feel supported, and the people who are trying to counter that are going to realize that they're outnumbered. Even that much, just using whatever platform you have, telling people about the situation, explaining what they might be able to do, passing on links and resources and all of that, can make a huge difference. It doesn't even have to be a monetary donation. If you find yourself in the position where you have some money that you can contribute to these things, like I said, there's options for the game bundle, which again, you get huge fucking stockpile of games for incredibly cheap. Or there are other legal, sources that you can go to, to be able to contribute to resources to help those who have been detained, or even just like continuing to work at the infrastructure and erode the shit that is detrimental to United States citizens. Little things like a single grain of sand doesn't do much. A single grain of rice doesn't do much. But if you've ever had to carry even a semi-large bag of rice, you know how heavy it gets pretty fucking fast. You can have a huge impact just by doing those small things, those small grains of sand, those small grains of rice. Because every last one of those adds weight. Every last one of those adds to the momentum. We can absolutely enact change in this country, and I am standing here, saying we must change. We've needed to change for 200 plus years. We have not changed enough. We are not in a post-racial society. People who are not white, people who are, people of color, have faced inordinate discrimination to the point of violence, either sexual violence or legal. And I've never been okay with that, and I have felt overwhelmed by it in the past. Like, just, I have felt overwhelmed to the point of not knowing what I can do, not knowing if I can step up and do things. And you don't have to necessarily go to a protest if you feel that you can, and there is a protest locally, and if you are willing to put yourself on the line, because you're going to have thousands of other people there with you. But understandably, that is not a risk that I would ask you to take, just in general, unless it's something that you know that you can do sanely and safely, and if you know what you're doing. There are resources to know what you can and should take with you, what you can and should be doing if you do go to one of these protests. Obviously, your safety, for me, is my top concern, but we also need to continue putting pressure on this. And again, these protests have been working. I said this before, and I'm reiterating again. They're seeing the strain of it. We are seeing change happen from 1 week of protesting. Things are changing in ways that we have not seen before. And as long as we keep pressing on it, we'll continue to make headway. So, I guess do your part to be the next grain in the grain of sand pouring out and stopping this shit from continuing the way that it has been, because it will absolutely make a difference. I understand feeling helpless in the face of a lot of this, because I can't go out there and use my body as a shield for batons and guns and all of that stuff. I cannot. Physically, I am more likely to be severely impacted by something like that, to the point of my life being on the line as a result of that. I would not be able to protest in a way that I could get out of that from. All of these riots have done to make thousands more people sick with corona. Nothing has changed. Don't spread these false... Oh, you're one of those.
Thank you for contributing to the algorithm.
You should definitely donate and spread your opinion more so we can understand it better.
Yeah, I'll be able to read that a lot better, because, I don't have my glasses on right now. I can't read that text all that well. Maybe if you did a donation, I could read that better.
Yeah.
Donations come up a lot bigger and we can read them better, for sure.
In a week's time, these riots will be forgotten. More than 5 people. So you think you're making a point here about how more than 5 people have died on account of them already. More than 5 people have died historically as a result of the police brutality. But no, we're not going to be forgetting about this. We're not. I have not forgotten. You are part of the algorithm for promoting this stuff. Yeah, I am.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
So we won't be
you.
forgetting
Thank you so
about
much.
I'm not going to remember your screen name in 5 minutes time, but thank you. So if you're still watching, dude, whatever your name actually is, I hope that you are able to go on with your life and maybe live with the fact that you are on the wrong side of history. Know that you are a Nazi. I'm not even using that casually. We are living with fascists. We are living with Nazis in this country, and you are taking that ideology. These are not a false ideology. I am saying what has been observable. I have been showing I've been talking about what we have been able to observe through decades of this shit happening. And to say otherwise is to be purely delusional. These protests have done a lot to enact change in this country. More things will be coming as a result of this, and I'm going to encourage everyone, every last one of you, that we can do this. I want you all to stay safe. I want you to stay, where you're not going to be putting your lives on the line. If all you can do is just say Black Lives Matter, that is enough. If that's all that you're able to do, just continue to do that. If you can do more, that helps. But even just continuing to show support for this. And if you're going to be like this guy and be like, you're wrong, these people are going to be forgotten, we're not going to forget this. You don't forget all 50 states protesting, including multiple countries around the world protesting in solidarity. You don't forget police brutality to this extent when it comes and is so recorded. We have so many videos now of absolute law breaking that it's inescapable. So to continue to make these arguments now just shows that you've not been paying attention. And I do hope that someday you're able to pay attention, that you're able to actually observe what's going on and stop immediately denying it and stop trying to pretend that it's anything other than virulent hatred to say otherwise. We are making a change. Change has been happening in this country because of this last week. Last week, when I learned about what happened to George Floyd, when I saw that video, I cried. I felt helpless, and I felt another one, and they're not going to charge the cops, and they're going to move them someplace else even if they do decide to do anything, and they're going to get a slap on the wrist, and it's just going to happen again. And I remember crying over that. I cried because I grieved, and I was reminded of how helpless I felt in this situation. And then the protests started. And then they caught fire. They were the sparks that finally spread across the entire country. It was made fucking plain what needed to happen. Change is happening. I have never felt more emboldened to change than in this last week. We got those cops arrested. We got them charged with murder, effectively. Manslaughter, second-degree manslaughter, but still effectively murder. Change is coming. And that's why I'm saying this, because it is easy to feel individually like we can't do much. Welcome back, Gold Ingot. It is easy to feel like we are not accomplishing much, but we are. The police forces are currently strained to maximum. Several of that, we've got, I guess, somewhere in the range of like 6 cops a day are retiring because they can't deal with it anymore. They can do everything that they've been doing, and they're going to have some success. They're going to succeed in making some people afraid. They are going to hurt people. They're going to kill people because they're the cops, and that's what they do. And the more that they do that, the more thousands of us are going to be in the streets demanding change. We're not going to forget about this. We're not letting this go. We are not stopping. And if they continue to make the point for us that we no longer need them, if they continue to prove that they are an invading force turning their guns on United States citizens, the U.S. has a history founded on turning those guns back at their oppressors. So, if they want to be on the wrong side of history, they can do that. But if we are truly United States citizens, if we are truly Americans, as we have defined ourselves for so many years, we'll not tolerate this. Not anymore. And so I say that with confidence, with a lot of anger. I'm not shouting, I'm not screaming. This is a very calm anger, but it is anger. I will say it determinedly. I will say it repeatedly. I will tell everyone listening, either now or who finds this video later. I know that maybe 10 years down the line, if YouTube still exists and you're watching this video, consider this to be a time capsule of where we are sitting in history right now. That I am furious. I'm scared. I'm not going to say that I'm not. But I'm more angry than I am scared. And I want to use what ability I have to speak, to articulate myself, to encourage every last one of you to have faith in yourself and in your community, to have faith that things can change, and know that you are capable of so much more than they've tried to tell us we can't do. Because we're doing it. I can't go to the front lines, but I can spread the word. I can platform. I can encourage people. That's what I can do. And I'm going to do it. And I encourage all of you to do the same. If any of this, if seeing videos of people having their heads cracked open, yeah. A degenerate. Hey, that's a word that Nazis use. Did you know that? That's kind of like one of their calling card dog whistles? Mm-hmm. Ignorant and using the situation to make money. I mean, I'm not. Someone donated $10 out of their own volition, but I wasn't even saying to donate to me. I said you should donate to me if you want me to take your opinion seriously. Which I'm not going to anyway, but you're not going to donate to me.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and report me. It's not true. I called you a Nazi because you're spouting Nazi ideology. Yeah, imagine being called a Nazi by someone who told you to donate money for me to listen to your shitty opinion.
It's almost as if it's a joke.
Yeah.
Almost as if you're a joke.
Ooh.
One that no one's laughing at.
Yeah, well, I'm laughing at them, but, you know. You can continue to be like, oh, that's disgusting, whatever. You're continuing to just show exactly who and what you are.
Yeah.
You're doing fine for yourself, and if you want to continue to believe in whatever it is you think you're doing, like, I guess. But yeah, we're going to continue enforcing that change needs to happen. And if you say things that Nazis are saying, I will call you a Nazi. Because that is, you know, if it quacks like a duck and if it looks like a duck, you call it a duck.
Yeah.
So, I know that this got derailed at the very end here by someone who thinks that they're a, you know, big man or whatever they think they are, but, like, think about how sad their life is that they have to look at all of what's going on and try to pretend that, no, let's hold on to status quo. How dare you call me a Nazi for saying Nazi things? I'm sorry, did I make you cry, little boy? Okay, that is mean. That is a little too far. I'll say that. I mean, that is
Be a certain point where you just kind of let them go off and do their own thing. 'Cause it's not worth
Yeah.
But I hope that when you have time to genuinely think about this, you know, when you have time to think about this, that maybe it eventually occurs to you to reconsider things outside of your personal experience. I do genuinely hope that you find it in your heart to change your mind on this. And I encourage all of you who are watching and listening to be encouraged, to have heart. We're making progress. And having spent 15-ish minutes on this, I know that this has been quite a while, and this has been a very long and very complicated and very platformy, soapboxy sort of stream. Donating my local bailout fund and some BLM charities that 10 is like a tip to Lori for entertaining me. Thank you. And I appreciate that. I'm glad that I can be entertaining in between, you know, saying, hey, Black Lives Matter, and, like, maybe we should do something about that.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad for all of you who came out today. Well, except for that one person, but whatever.
Yeah.
I do hope that you all do. I want you all to have wonderful days. I do. Mm-hmm. I want things to be happy. I want you to be able to find the joy in the small things. Because it's also okay right now. It is okay to find the small things that bring you happiness and to enjoy them. To play those video games, to go into D&D sessions, to read a book or watch TV shows. If you need to step away from this, that is also okay. Mm-hmm. We all need breaks from this. It's a sanity thing. It's okay to need space from all of this too. Just know that when you come back to it, you've got thousands of other people standing with you as well. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Stay angry, I guess. Mm-hmm. But don't let that anger become something toxic. Use that anger as energy to make change happen.
Yeah.
Once again, I appreciate all of you who joined me in call. That is, once again, Griffin, Gab, and Alex.
Always a pleasure.
And I look forward to streaming hopefully next week. Oh, assuming that the being reported for calling a spade doesn't get me, you know, stripped of my account. That would be interesting to see.
Oh, yeah.
But I do hope that you guys are able to tune in next week. I hope that we continue to see progress every week that this happens. I've, like I said, link in the description for one way that you can help. We've said it repeated times over the call, how you might be able to help. I hope that next week things look even better. Things will start getting brighter after this, and I wholeheartedly believe that. In the meantime, I'm going to say goodnight to all of you, or good morning, depending on what time of day it is for you. I hope you have
You can just at me specifically, that's okay.
That's fine. Yeah. But I'm gonna call the stream here, but take care of yourselves, and even as you're holding on to anger, hold on to love too. Like genuinely love of all forms. Act with love. And you will also enact change. So,
Take care, everyone. Stay safe.
take care, everyone.